We talking about practice, not a game, not the game that I go out there and die for and play every game like it's my last. Not the game. We talking about practice, man. I mean, how silly is that? And we talking about practice.
Best believe that I'm top 3. The only thing is I'm not 2 and I'm not 3. Put me anywhere other than one that is not me. It's beef, we strut a nigga block, that's chopped cheese. No peace, the butterfly sting him, that's Ali. You reach, I teach him with the handle, that's Kyrie. Machines you hook like a Roman, that's IV. You a sheep, I'ma go, it's a difference, so watch me. You weak, all hooks, no punches, so block these. They mock me, I just show them how it goes. Try to stomach this thug life. They ring got the nose, bandana on the grip. All heads coming out the foe. Connected from Cali to New York, niggas, so let it go. Made for this, nigga, I eat bars and drink flows. Thinking you woke until your third eye a peephole. Line for line, this shit too easy, it's like a free throw. Mastered the game too early, this bitch a cheat code. It ain't a game, these niggas lame, they bring a shame. If I'm with an officer, it's a number in his name. We ain't the same, you want the easy pass, tell him change his lane. Shit, I've been through the fire, you can't stand the rain, take an aim. Tell him runner, he can try his best. Drive a car named after me, that's why I'm in the vet. Laugh at these niggas once again, and I ain't break a sweat. Number 1 at everything I do, that's why I'm one west. The Lord is not the God of the dead, so when I die, coming back for my spot, so forever I'm top 3. Just tell him to watch this, janitor with the mop stick. You gon' need a defensive lineman to block this. On point when I bomb shit, 10 for 10 I do not miss. I'm barking with a full bulldog, it is not mixed. They can see that my mind's sick, I don't write, I find shit. I don't like it, then I switch. If I touch it, it's diamond. Tell a bitch that I'm God sent. It ain't because my kicks is built like 5'6", 5'7" is my bitch. Dangerous, high risk. I lose it, get another one. You think I'm talking about a girl? I'm talking about another gun. We here now? Hey, look, it is what it is now. We don't fuck with the house niggas. We burn the crib now. I'm ahead now, and I hope they can hear now. I don't care if you think it's it, nigga. I don't fear clowns. Silences make it sound like raindrop. That's a quiet storm. Get the job done in the view or get fired on. If you niggas standing for nothing, what you dying for? If you put real with real, that's how I was born. Walk in this bitch ready for war. I'm in riot form. I want these niggas to see me flex. That's why I am armed. I shouldn't live in the crib, nigga. I should buy a farm to go through this shit so effortless. Best believe that I'm top 3. Only thing is I'm not 2 and I'm not 3. Best believe that I'm top 3. Only thing is I'm not 2 and I'm not 3. Best believe that I'm top 3. Only thing is I'm not 2 and I'm not 3.
For homicide detectives, the clock starts ticking. The moment they are called, their chance of solving a murder is cut in half if they don't get a lead within the first 48 hours.
I do anything to keep my brothers safe. I'm putting food on my daughter's plate. You fucking losers, y'all just can't relate. You harm them, you will find me on the first 48. You will find me on the first 48. Find me on the first 48. I do anything to keep my daughter safe. You harm them, you will find me on the first 48. Sitting in that room, hear the interrogator's voice. They asking why I do it, I tell them I had no choice. Couldn't take a threat or a risk to my family, so throw the book at me, I take them charges happily. Ain't no need for no polygraph, so forensics. I put that fucker in a body bag, I'll admit it. Fuck a sentence or the jury that will convict me. They don't understand, it's my family, they represent me. So for them, I risk my freedom, roll the dice. I ain't got much more for you crackers, go ahead and give me life. You don't know what it's like for the people that you love. They ain't there to get salutes, they ain't there to give you hugs. The same that done pulled me from the dirt and from the mud, it's gone because of who? Y'all rather shed your blood. My brother's kids like my other kids. If you touch them, fuck around, get another bid, plus 10. Put me in the Supermax, I get super jacked, working out every day, canteen super stack, cool with that. Long as it mean my daughter's safe, my brother's winning, that's a chance I take. Still my fate, I do anything to keep my brothers safe. I'm putting food on my daughter's plate. You fucking losers, y'all just can't relate. You harm them, you will find me on the first first 48. I got wives that done gave they all to stand beside me. Kids that can't see me fall, look at me proudly. Respected by men with honor up on their names. You harm one of them, I promise that you'll see pain. I'm one West train, made an oath to uphold it. Stood with my back against the wall, never folded. Grew up in the city where the love ain't brotherly. I ain't had too many friends, I ain't need the company. I'm my father's son, so I'm cool, just don't fuck with me. I say that you my homie, you're my brother, then you stuck with me. Never turn my back on mine, it's to the dirt. You cross them across that line, I end you first. But only make it worse, cause loyalty hard to find. Never think cause you out of sight, you out of mind. And I don't mind dying now, cause reincarnation got me coming back. Same scars in my heart aching. Be parlaying with killers from all places. Every last one of them for me a broad day shit. So what you think, I won't do it for them? Once they let me out the cell, shit, I do it again. It's for the family. I do anything to keep my brother safe. I'm putting food on my daughter's plate. You fucking losers, y'all just can't relate. You harm them, you will find me on the first 48. Find me on the first 48. Find me on the first 48. I do anything to keep my people safe. You harm them, you will find me on the first 48.
Yeah. What's going on, fam? Commander General Yana, come on. Yeah. What's going on, fam? Commander General Yohanna, man, we doing it up on the BLACKWATCH channel. Hey, tonight, man, we got a whole squad up in here tonight. We got a whole team. First of all, I want to give a big shout out to General Hazayan up in the building with us. Y'all give General Hazayan. I got General Kobala Ma up in the building, all the way from DC, up in the building, kicking it up in here. I got going down the list. Who's next? Who's next on the list? Kata's out or Kahan?
Captain Mashak, sir.
Captain Mashak, sir. Here, next on the list, Captain Mashak out of DC. Out of Birmingham. Okay. Next after him is who's next after him?
Captain Kahan, sir.
Captain Kahan Thumb Yard up in the building all the way from where you at on the other side of the planet.
Hey, General, right now I'm in Florida right now, General.
The Kahan hold down in Florida. Okay. Also with us, man, special guest out of New York. He's next, right? Special guest out of New York City. Captain Katazar in the building. What's on?
What up, Cap?
Katazar down here in Philly. You know, he up from New York and big. Oh, wait, let me get my main man in here. Of course, Officer Marah. Finally, we got Officer Marah on camera. The baddest beef you ever found. Hey, big shout out to Captain Katazar and Captain and of course General Q for coming in and restructuring up that studio, man, and giving us more cameras, more microphones. They did a hell of a job up in there. Got us rocking and rolling. Boy, we got a lot to talk about tonight. Want to thank everybody for joining us. Let's get it on. Let's get it into it. First of all, y'all know, as you may all know, great icon Cicely Tyson passed away this week. Well, I believe she was 95, correct?
96, sir.
96. At 96 years old, the Lord allowed her to have a real good, long life. And let me tell you something, if I could, about Cicely Tyson, that a lot of you may have lost the thought of this. And we're going to know this tonight. We're going to talk about T.I. as well. We're going to talk about T.I. and Tiny. We're going to talk about a lot of the nasty stuff going on in Hollywood. But I wanted to bring in Cicely's story because Cicely Tyson really exemplified how sisters used to be and how we should get back to our sisters, man.
That's right.
Something to you. As you listen to Cicely Tyson's story and you listen to what it is that she's going to bring out, then you should also realize and remember that Cicely Tyson was able to be raised with this level of morals because of the level that black men were on back then. Black men and Western. I think she might be a Benjamite too. Am I right?
Kind of, sir. I believe so.
Because of the spirit and the level that men were like in the past, they were able to raise wonderful daughters like, and thanks be to the Most High, that in the I.S.U.P.K, we are raising up daughters in that manner as well. Big shout out to General Muhammad. Led the charge, and so many others. You understand? Just pointing out them two particular generals, but many other brothers who have led that charge and have really hooked things up and really fixed families and put families together. Big shout out to General Q, now getting it on as well, all the way from Canada, raising up family, raising up children. You understand? All of that. And so many brothers. And that's how that was done. And the point of this, at least this half of the show, and I'm sure I'm gonna let y'all let the heavy hitters jump me. The first half of this show is I pray that you get the understanding that we could recreate this. We do not have to be whatever they want us to be.
That's right, sir.
We do not have to be that. We do not have to be, filthy, disgusting, lewd-filled drug addicts that do every low-life, disgusting, lewd act there is. Now, I'm not accusing nobody. Let me make something else clear. That I'm not saying that anything that we bring out tonight are facts. What we bring out tonight is just speculation at this point. But it's very common in Black Hollywood. Black Hollywood is filled with a ton of disgusting things that spill out into the street, a.k.a. R. Kelly, a.k.a. Jada Will Smith, a.k.a. 1,000 other entertainers, man. It is always the drug of choice to go into the negative, man. So, hey, I'm going to turn it over to the hitters, man. Y'all jump up in here. Let's discuss this issue. Let's get it on, y'all.
You would like to play the tape first, or you want us?
I just want, since y'all, it's up to y'all. But I want to say one thing, and I could be wrong on this one, but if I'm not mistaken, Cicely Tyson never did a movie naked. Is that right?
Not that I can recall.
Not that I recall either.
I know when she did Kizzy in Roots, I believe they showed a little bit of nakedness on her, but not, pornographic level nakedness on her. But they tried to show a little bit, I think, of the rape of her in the slave quarters. I'm not sure about, but she attempted very strongly to keep her integrity up. You understand?
Come on.
So let's check it out. We lost Haas. Oh, there you go.
I'm here, General. I'm here.
So let's get it on, y'all. Y'all want to go with the tape first? What y'all feeling, Hebrews, on this?
Tape.
Constantly.
Let's get it on.
This tape is a tape she did with that horrible excuse for reporter Gail King, but it was a very good interview with the sister. And it was very recent, I believe last week or something.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, it was last week. It was. I want to say last week because even Gayle King was saying she didn't know that would have been the last time she had knew the sister apparently. So it's definitely a good interview for anybody who could watch the whole thing. I'm gonna skip back right here. There's a good part in it where she talk about her young days.
With all these people around her congratulating her. And she said, yes, ever since she was a little girl, she had to sing and dance.
This one's the perfect gift for the friend who's been getting a little too comfortable during quarantine.
So I've been running with eyes.
Ain't no sweat.
Are you serious?
Look, that's good, but 96.
Debut at 31 in the 1956 film Care of Gold. Shortly after that, she enrolled in an acting school run by Paul Mann, the well-known acting coach. She found herself alone with him after her first class.
He said, excuse me, Miss Tyson, I'd like to talk to you. So I turned around and came back. Before I know it, he pulled me down.
He was touching you and groping you?
Yes. No, what he wanted me to do was something worse than that. I thought about the whole incident when I got home. And
she's 96,
right?
And it's still shaking up today. We show you how our daughters are supposed to be.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? Go ahead, Salah.
So I mean, on your point, the next thing she gonna say, they're gonna tell you how hardcore it hit her and how she carry her whole career because she about to cry and she's the first time she ever cried since the incident.
Wow.
Shed a tear about that until this morning. I never shed a tear about that until when I got home. And I never shed a tear about that until this moment.
All these years later, it still affects you that way.
The whole thought that you could go out innocently to achieve something, and it turns out to be something so vulgar and coarse and demeaning to you as a young person. But I made up my mind then that I went there for a reason, and that reason had not changed.
It sounds like a Me Too before we were even calling it Me Too. And some people would say, but why did you go back to that, you say?
I went back to get what I was told I needed in order to achieve what I wanted. And I think of the many young Black women who go through that and are devastated by it, and it kills their dream. I was not going to let that happen to me.
Through her sheer determination, her talent blossomed and landed Tyson the headlining role of Rebecca in Sounder.
You got your little hat on, Mr. Sheriff.
A 1972 film about a Black sharecropper family.
Bye, Daddy.
Bye, sir.
And a conversation with a white journalist about the movie pushed Tyson to find new purpose in her calling. And so you're promoting.
If I could jump in, yes, if I could. Like, this is way back in the 30s or the 40s, and she experiencing what they put Bill Cosby in jail for, the Harvey Weinstein and all of that. But you ain't heard about them. Who says this man do this, and he was a big director at the time. But you weren't hearing nothing about it, and it's showing you how their society, it preys on people and preys on our vulnerability and the lack of protection. Because if this had been another nation that had an embassy, had an ambassador, had somebody like how the Japanese, the Chinese have it, they would have, he would have had to face hell.
Yeah,
he ain't got nobody to go back and say a whole nation behind. I had to muscle up in this thing. And 96 years old, you now start to cry. Like you now not break, but you now able to, have a certain amount of closure or express something that happened to you, 70-something years ago that you didn't cry about for 70 years. But now you could cry about it. We just had to swallow things down and not make us until the day before your death. Then you can cry about it.
That's hell.
You know what I mean?
Sounder. A reporter said to you that he felt a bit of bigotry in himself while he was watching the movie. When I asked him why so, he said, I was uncomfortable about your son referring to his father as daddy. I said, children, what do they call you? He said, they call daddy. And I thought, my God, this man is thinking that we're not human beings.
Oh, you got to pause that one there.
No, answer.
Now, did you hear what she said? Like that was when sisters' brains was working top notch. They done so much damage to our sisters now. A lot of our sisters can't think on their feet like this, but a lot of them still do. And boy, did she pick up. Like he said, he had a problem with the black kids calling their father dad because his kids called that, and because it raised the emotion in him of the love of a father and a son.
Right.
And because of it, it made that Edomite uncomfortable. And brother, that's supposed to mean so much to us. That's supposed to tell us that the weapon of, like, in other words, if you're fighting a fighter, right? You're in a fight. You're in a fight. You and them are in the fight, right? If that fighter is throwing blows, your job is to do what? Throw counter blows.
That's right, sir.
Get the advantage, and then you throw blows, or to throw blows that they don't see coming. That's how you fight. Now, if the blow that hit that Edomite was a blow because of a family structure, because a father and a love son, if that hit that Edomite, what the hell should we be doing?
Right.
We should be building up nothing but black families.
That's right. That's
we
right.
should wipe out. That's right. We should wipe it out. We should wipe out any idea of the black family. Now, with the mom, but he had a problem with the kid calling the brother daddy,
right?
Because that's the part that hit him. Which means what? We should never, like, the worst thing a black woman could have ever done was to get rid of her man out of that house.
That's right, sir.
The worst thing, like that's letting you know that that's the thing that grinds him. He got to treat her, he got to treat a black man and his son like a real human being. And he don't want to think that way because he wants to lynch our son. He wants to kill, especially back then.
Right.
Show you why we shouldn't. Our morals is such an amazing weapon if we use it. It's such an amazing weapon because the higher our morals, the harder it is for these nations to just disregard us as animals and then try to destroy it. More importantly than that, it makes the Lord happy with us, man.
Right.
It makes the Lord never lied when he was showing us that this is how we should be. That is amazing what she said. We're going to come back to it. Y'all jump in anytime you're ready.
If I could, General, real fast.
Please, General.
Let me ask you a question, Mashak. What year was that movie made?
I think they said it in the 40s. I gotta go back and see. I think it was the 40s.
Did you say 1972? This last movie.
Her last movie or this one she refers to?
The one we talking about right now where he was uncomfortable hearing that young brother called his dad.
Hold on, let me pull it back, sir. Let me pull it right back.
Because they did. I'm gonna bring something out about this here whole thing.
Count on cancer.
Children, what do they call you?
Proper family.
And I think of the men and a devastating. I'm going to let that happen to me.
Through her sheer determination, her talent blossomed and landed Tyson the headlining role of Rebecca in Sounder. You got your no-life job, Mr. Sheriff. 1972 film about a
1972.
Yeah. Now you remember this here. Remember the time they talking about right here, 1972 when this film came out. This is the dude was really flooding heroin in the ghetto.
Damn!
And flooding heroin in the ghetto and ejecting young brothers coming back for that Vietnam War and having them drugged up. So where now your son can't see his strong brother in the house providing for his house. You understand? That was all part of that plan. Why he ain't wanting to come out. Why he ain't wanting to see a strong brother on TV taking care of his family, man. It was right around during this time.
Damn.
That's cool.
That's cool.
If I can give you a story real quick, sir, I'm gonna give you a story about my father. My father was a Vietnam vet, right?
Right.
And I found out he did certain things in the military that's blacked out and all that good stuff. He was one of them cats had clearances and all that stuff. You know what I mean? He called him the Black Rambo in the neighborhood. But he told me once, he said when he came back home from Vietnam, they wanted him to go to a place in PA called Fort Indian Town Gap. But he didn't go. He said because they send you up there, all they did was give you drugs to drug you up. That was the only reason they wanted to send you there. To drug you up, to drug your mind up so you can't function right. He didn't go. He said, I ain't going. You know what I mean? Instead, he came back here, he met my mom, married my mom, and had a family and raised us. He did not go to that 14 town gap because he knew they was trying to drug us up in that place.
Damn. That's crazy, man. That's crazy.
And they brought it out that movie called Dead Presidents too, sir.
Yeah.
That movie with
right.
Chris Tucker and the other young brother.
I think it's Lauren State and that.
Yeah, that's him. Where they brought that out to us well, when he came home was shooting up heroin, was stuck on drugs.
Yeah.
And that was most of the veterans coming home. And not just the veterans, most of the black men in the ghettos, they shooting that heroin up during this time. This is when they really flooded the ghetto, man.
Will show you that even though this is only in 72, he's still in 1972. He told her that he didn't like in that movie the black child calling that his father dad.
That's crazy.
He didn't like that. That was too much humanity for 1972.
Right.
Yeah. So,
go ahead, Q.
Kind of and if you remember, it's based off of a book or what have you. So why would they be upset? Because that's how it was written in the book or what have you. But the propaganda, you know what I'm saying, in the movies changed it to, demoralize us and to basically separate our families. You understand? The brother's dog, his father gets locked up in prison for stealing food. You understand? And she's left to be a single mother. Okay. I mean, it's ridiculous or what have you that she would read the goddamn book. These were required books to read, and she was insulted that he would say such a thing to her. You understand? To take away the value of being a man, and she knew that was his agenda.
Damn.
Yeah.
Damn.
That's cool.
That's cool.
Could
I add one thing, Kadazar? What you just said, not just the value of being a man, but the value of a man in that household, man, with that family, brother, with that son calling you dad, brother. That's what they don't want. They don't want us to be in these households with our children calling us dad and father and taking care and making right decisions for our families. From then to now is what they still fighting us against.
Yeah.
Slocky Kadazar, I apologize.
No sweats. And just to piggyback off what you said, my biological brother, he just called me recently and he was asking me for counsel on how to get custody of his children because he knows that I got custody of my son. I went through a custody battle and I knew that was going to happen one day, and that's what was probably going to fish him closer to the truth because it's damn near like there's a spirit in the world that doesn't want a father around their children. I was going through that custody battle outside the I.S.U.P.K. Nobody can support. Nobody wanted to help. Nobody gave me any reassurance. Everybody was like, leave him with the mother, this, do that. Nobody, it was like a war just for me to be in my son's life. Now my brother's going through it. My father went through it. It's why even if you take a look at Black Lives Matter, Black Lives Matter started over the death of black men, but when you look at the mantra, it says
the black woman, the black mother, and the black parent. It doesn't even mention anything about the father or about the couple. Everything is always about separating a black or Hispanic man from his family, whether it's child support or whatever the case may be. And that's because you can't have the structure without a black or Hispanic man being the head of that household.
So true. So true. That's heavy. That's heavy. Go and give us a little bit. Was y'all done?
Tell what kind?
Hey, I got one more thing, Gino.
Go ahead.
About this issue, right? Wasn't this around the time when Nixon was plotting to flood the ghetto with drugs?
Yeah,
around this time.
Exactly that time. That's exactly about that time. You got to get Kahan in here. Y'all know Kahan know these stats.
Right.
Yeah, you know all these daggone stats.
Khan, it's also around the time of the women's liberation movement, the height or the apex of the women liberation and feminist movement when this was happening in the 70s.
So they were, all the movements was going to destroy that black man.
Right.
The feminist movement, the this, the that movement, everything was going to wipe us the hell out.
Right.
The dope, the heroin was there, everything was going on. And now you see what was in their heart. And you see what she went through. And she was one of the few that had the morals to stay the course.
So like the general, if I could.
Please.
Like the scriptures say, how can you spoil the strong man unless you bind him first?
That's right.
Like they use these type of chemical what you would consider the drug chemical warfare, and then the women with the women's movement, domestic warfare against us, and they bind the strong man. And what you have today, I know we're gonna go into it, the busted challenge and all these different challenges women having, other than the challenge of raising a family and securing that household. But that's definitely what has transpired over the years. It's a lot.
That's right. And without a brother in full charge and command, man, it's a recipe for disaster, because of, again, it takes so many years to raise a child up, and it takes so many years to raise a daughter up, to be on the level to actually not turn into a monster with all the propaganda and all the money spent to try to destroy her innocence and destroy her soul.
Right.
So by getting him out of the house or teaching the mother to be a monster, you understand, then you turn around and in essence, you hurt that daughter long before she have a chance to learn how to be a wife. How to be a sister, how to be down with it, and even to value that brother. It's amazing to me. It is absolutely amazing, man. You got more on the video?
Kind of constant.
That's it. And a conversation with a white journalist about the movie pushed Tyson to find new purpose in.
Hey, he was a journalist.
Kind of constant. If I could say, that's it. Like, he mad about a movie, which show you not real life,
right?
Movie which show you they know that they could. Okay, the image that we see in media of ourselves, it could change us.
Yeah,
change how we are, everything. You know what I mean? So of course, they want to keep everything that could help black people out of the eyesight and the ears of black people. Because this is a goddamn movie. And the movie is not even based in the 70s, 60s. The movie is based with sharecroppers.
Right.
Before. So how could that image threaten you today? We was just fresh out of slave. You know, the black man, him being a father, a brother, a son, a husband, is so powerful in our community, it threatens them even in a movie.
Yes.
Salakia, sir.
Jump in, y'all. Jump in.
Yes, sir. So I was doing some extracurricular reading based on the fact that how they forever showing you all kinds of daggone little snippets before the video that you want to watch. Of course, I'm not promoting this cat or anything like that. It's a cat named Thomas Sowell or what have you. There was an economist that taught at Cornell or what have you. He's still alive to this day or what have you. And they you know, trying to big up him, I guess, because of course, the you know, Black History Month and everything like that. And I think those Negroes is like regressing. I saw Black Lives Matter week or what have you. They want to give us a week now, just, you know what I'm saying, so they can make it Black Lives Matter instead of the month. That's how ass backwards they are. So I had to go the other way with it for 1 second. So this cat, Thomas Sowell, he brings out all the time how the history of the Black family being destroyed as it is at this present day was not the common, and it's not the real legacy of how Black families existed in America. As we speak, as we know that was the time of sharecropping. And of course, Commander General Yohanna tells us all the time that before Martin Luther King and that BS or what have you, we were the most married. You understand? Our families were together. Before that integration BS or what have you, you understand? All the way in the 20s, we wasn't committing suicide because the stock market dumped. You understand? Right. We was together. Yeah, our families were together. That's not, you know, they make it seem like we've been like this forever when it's just a very short amount of time where we've sunken to these levels right here based on the lies that they pushed in and you know, making that comment to her, you know what I'm saying, in reference to as if he got to make it worse than what it was when we were not that. We were the most married. You understand? We stayed together way more and debunking a lot of the garbage in slavery or what have you. The white man didn't rape as many Black women as they'd like to come out with as far as that concerned, because of course you got a mad slave that you didn't rape this wife or what have you. You didn't rape this wife or what have you. He's not going to work. You understand? That was, I have another book that I borrowed from some brothers that donated some books to the school. I still have it. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to bring it back, what have you. But I forget what the brother, he donated them in Philly school. It's I think it's on slavery. They mentioned that fact in the book. So I just wanted to bring that out, that's not what they were doing, and that's not how our families were and whatnot, and we should never accept that. You understand? That we should not be in the house as we are as Black men, especially. So that was it.
You got more on the video?
Come on, so there's a heavy part you're about to see here.
Come on.
And landed Tyson the headlining role of Rebecca in Sounder. You got your low-life job, mister. A 1972 film about a Black sharecropper family. And a conversation with a white journalist about the movie pushed Tyson to find new purpose in her calling. In Sounder,
a reporter said to you that he felt a bit of bigotry in himself while he was watching the movie. When I asked him why so, he said, I was uncomfortable about your older son referring to his father as daddy. I said, do you have children? What do they call you? He said, they call me daddy. And I thought, my God, this man is thinking. And I made up my mind that I could not afford the luxury of just being an actress. So
you got to pause that part for real. You real as you can go. You know what I'm saying? You got to let her say something on that shit right there.
God.
Like she said, she could not afford the luxury of just being an actress. Like once again, that what she just came out her mouth is the problem with Black leadership right there.
I don't want gun.
This whole disgusting demonic spirit of selfishness and somebody thinking that they are just you know, themselves. And they ain't got to worry about nothing else. She's telling you right there that she can no longer, that's a luxury.
Right.
Black people cannot afford the luxury of you just who you are, like that clown Charles Barkley.
Yeah, you gave it to him, sir.
Yeah, Most High in Christ. Like black leaders got to understand that you can't afford to just be an actor or an actress. That you're gonna have to carry yourself a certain way. What you say and do has to carry yourself a certain way. And very importantly, you cannot open your damn mouth talking about black people and Latino people and Native Indian people in a way that hurts or harms or disparages them, man.
That's right, sir.
Like, that is a rare level of intelligence that I hear among our people, especially among those. And when I say leaders, I don't mean technical leaders over us. I say leaders meaning those have a platform, those that are famous, those that are known. They're not necessarily in charge of us, but they have influence over the masses of our people because of their fame or fortune or sports ability or whatever it is, or entertainment value or whatever. If you're in this position, you can't just be saying whatever you want to say. And our people should require that from us.
That's right.
Michelle, I got to hear that one more time before you let that tape run. Just that little part where she said she couldn't afford that. Go ahead. That was amazing. Was y'all just
come?
That we're not being. And I made up my mind that I could not afford the luxury of just being an actress, and that I would use my career as my platform. Namely, you want black people to be seen as human beings. That's right. What gives you hope as you sit here today? You're thinking about black women. Hope is that.
Wait, listen. You see how Broad went right into her journalistic mode. No, that shit cut her. It cut her. Go ahead, cuz. Who is going to take up Salagi?
So, like, if I could, gentlemen, what you saying is so heavy. It cut Gayle King. Because Gayle King has been involved in predatory journalism for a long time, not just with Kobe Bryant, but with a lot of black men.
That's right.
And what you said earlier about her having an obligation to her race, not just her career, but for her race. And like what the scriptures say, love the Lord thy God with all thy might, all thy soul. Like the talent and the gifts that we have given should be rededicated to the Lord and to his service of his people.
That's right.
And that's why Cicely Tyson is revered as a class act, just not in Hollywood, but among black people because of the integrity that she had. I just want to say that, gentlemen. Salaki.
That was strong.
Salaki, sir.
Go ahead, please, Cat.
If I may, and every other nations know this. Like Jackie Chan purposely in his career, when he came over to the West, never played a villain. You understand? Because it's taboo if you play a villain for for our oppressor. Like they look at it like you're tainting the image of their people and promoting propaganda of us being criminals. And there's certain films, like for example, they just redid Mulan. They made a live action movie. They took out a character that they felt was a stereotypical character, Mushu, been degrading Asians. Same thing even with what the hell was that other movie with the Pirates of the Caribbean. There's a movie when they played it in Japan that an Asian looked terrible in these parts. They chopped out those scenes that the movie didn't even look right because they know what it means to have a platform and for what you ought to be visually. You understand? Like they take care of their people's image and make sure that it's maintained in the public eye.
If I could, gentlemen.
Heavy. Go ahead, General.
If I could, based off of what the two brothers did, just brought out Captain Kahan and Captain Katazai. These are the same people that was during the time of Caiaphas. Caiaphas and them, they knew what was going on in the scriptures, but because of money and power, or the so-called power they got from the oppressor, they turned on the children of Israel. What is going on today? Gayle King did that. because she knows she got power and authority, trashing brothers, trashing black men, and she will pull back from it. And that's all the journalists. That's all our so-called leaders, whether they political or so-called spiritual. That's all of them. They all do the same exact thing to us.
Right.
That's why the Lord is removing them from their power seat. No matter how much they try, no matter how much they push, the Lord raising up young brothers from the ghetto, and they can't stop it.
Right.
And once they upset about it, they don't like it, they want to shut us down, the Lord not going to shut it down, and the Lord going to destroy y'all for what y'all did. And raise the truth, man. A horrible thing what they did to us. And payment got to be made. And the Lord going to make sure that payment going to be made.
Right. Oh, God.
Most High in Christ. And listen, sir, it's a one for you in this truth, man. You held on to something that was precious. And you held and you held and you held tight. Like the scripture said, threefold cord. You had GEN.YAHANNA and you had GEN.YAHANNA. And then everybody else came along with you. And we raised this nation back again, man. And we raised the nation up the way it's supposed to be, man. You understand me? With brothers in the forefront. And we ain't taking this garbage they saying no more, man. What Cicely Tyson said was wonderful what she said. That was something, man, that we got to keep pushing in this truth. And what she said. She said it. You know what I mean?
Oh.
And that was the Lord had to bring that out. You know what I mean? Because if you listen to what she said, that's what we teach in our I.S.U.P.K.
That's right.
Like she bringing out, damn right, Doc. Like she bringing out the keys to how you make this thing work. And Most High in Christ, only through the power of Yahweh we able to do any of these things. And really, it was the strength of all of y'all that got me through these tough times. You know what I'm saying? Because that attack by Satan was to wipe out this truth. And if it wasn't for strong, that's why I love a strong, and don't bring no pussy niggas around me. I'm just being honest. I don't want to smell. I don't want to smell pussy up there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. You know what I mean? I don't want nothing but hardcore on to the death brothers around me. I don't even want to see you because so many pretended to be that way and they were not. When we needed their strength the most, that was when they was the weakest, man. And when I needed the brotherhood strength the most, the brothers I'm looking at right now, and so many other brothers in this I.S.U.P.K, y'all the reason I was strong, and Yahweh Shai is the reason we had this knowledge to carry this thing forward. And it is an absolute, amazingly beautiful, wonderful thing, man. So I thank all of y'all, man, for y'all strength, man. Big shout out to and all them badass captains in this I.S.U.P.K. I mean, we just a phenomenal organization and operating phenomenally in this work. And our nation doesn't fully see it yet, but they're gonna come to see it. The Lord is doing it every day. In the second half of this show, we're gonna talk about the QAnon. We're going to talk about the Proud Boys leader being an FBI agent. We're going to also talk about the GameStop conspiracy when they went up in there and bankrupted them hedge funds for $5 billion. These Edomites is at war with their people. And in that war, they revealing all the dirt. And it's going to wake black people up, and they're going to start to move their hope away from the kingdom and start to really seek the Lord and try to understand the Bible. What we were doing, we were so before our time through the grace and mercy of the Lord. Like through the mercy of the Lord, we was way before our time. And because of it, now we are prepared and set for whatever the Lord's will is that's necessary for this nation of Israel, man. And it's an amazing, beautiful thing. But I don't want to take away from the story. Big shout out to General Haas on those kind words, brother. I appreciate it.
Most High in Christ, sir. So you deserve it.
Right. Most High in Christ.
If I could just briefly, one other thing, just that same strength that was just brought up, right? When you see black and Hispanics in their right state of mind, just to also piggyback off what Captain Mashak said and what General Q said, is that they know that even during sharecropping, coming straight out of slavery, they saw Detroit.
Yeah.
They saw Black Wall Street.
Yeah.
They saw Seneca Village.
That's right.
They saw Rosewood. And what they see is even if you look at them saying, you understand, like treating us like we have a lack of humanity, they see a competitor that they need to crush.
That's right.
They know that if they leave us alone, we will rise up superior and beyond all of them. And that's why he sees that, and even instinctively in his soul, he says, I need to break this family up.
That's right.
That's right.
That's right. And he was a journalist. You know, he saw a lot, but he still had to tell her how he could see the bigotry in him come up. And coming before, and listen, even for a white man to come before in her later days, to come before Cicely Tyson and say that, it was damn near like a confession. Because he felt guilty for it. That's why he used the term bigotry. Right. Anyway, let's get some more, man, because we're gonna go into Ty and Tiny and their whole thing as well. Go ahead.
He felt a bit of bigotry in himself while he was watching the movie. When I asked him why so, he said, I was uncomfortable about your older son referring to his father as daddy. I said, you have children, what do they call you? He said, they call me daddy. And I thought, my God.
They call him what?
Daddy.
Daddy.
So he the big daddy. He big daddy in the big house. I see where he was coming from.
Come on.
Go ahead,
And I made up my mind that I could not afford the luxury of just being an actress, and that I would use my career as my platform.
Namely, you want Black people to be seen as human beings. That's right. What gives you hope?
Like, it's like.
Oh, go ahead, Mashak. I know where you're going. Go ahead.
Like, she really cut that thing off, and they're trained to do that, just like that reporter was trained to go ask her that thing or say what he had to say. Right. Because now, like, okay, now I'm not going to afford the luxury of just being an actor. You just want Black people to be seen as people. No, being seen as people is not justice for 400 years damn slavery, man.
That's right.
You and I paying. Listen, the Jewish man after the Holocaust didn't want to just be seen as a Jewish man. He had Iron Dome. He wanted his own country. He wanted his own military, and he wanted the world to remember, never forget. We don't just be seen as people, man. Justice had to be served. But this, oh my God, this woman here is diabolical. She is insane with the thing where you just cut her off. You just want her to be seen as people. No, that ain't it.
And if I could, Mashak, her response was as though she was right. She said, so you just want Black. If she framed it like a question, she said, so you just want Black people to be seen as human. And Cicely Tyson, she's 96. She said, yeah, of course. But what she probably wanted to say is, I want us, when she was going to cut her, she said, I want us to be looked at as human. So she tried to dismiss herself and just be a journalist and question, when of course, it's too much.
If I could.
Oh, go ahead, Salakia.
No, General, what you've been saying is that's been a reoccurring thing with right now with everything that's been going on is the word humanity. And just to see how Gayle King tried to, once again, as journalists do, try to shape the narrative about, about us. It's just, like you said, it's mind-boggling. Like, I see how she's trying to, change the whole narrative. Like, it's what she's saying is what she experienced.
Right.
And Gayle King is so, this is why we got to be spiritually amputated from these types of people among us.
Yeah.
You understand? Because they are a cancer to us. They are a cancer to even this, because they will use people like Gayle King to say, to have a counter argument on humanity or on justice. So I just want to say this. So, Salah.
Yeah, true. True.
That was most part of the interview. The other half, they asked about her marriage to Miles Davis.
Yeah.
And she goes on about how, well, yes, there was abuse, and yes, there was this, and yes, there was that. So Gayle is asking her, well, why would you stay? And she's telling Gayle, like, that's what marriage and love is. And there's the good times, the bad times, and there's crazy. if you don't go through that and build marriage with your husband, then you know you don't have nothing. And like you could see it so foreign in concept to what she's saying.
You might have to play that part.
Oh,
If you can find that one part, you might have to play that little part.
Oh, gosh.
Because of course, and once again, of course, just like we've been saying, the real mission and the reason she bringing it up, and probably the whole reason she even having an interview, is to be able to come back and say, is to talk about the Miles Davis part. Because of course, they want to demonize that black man.
Yeah,
Man, like a black woman standing up for a black man brings pure hatred on America when it is so necessary. I mean, imagine you being Miles Davis coming up in the era that he came up in. Now, she already just talked about how she was almost raped. Could you imagine? Now, remember now, Ann talked about how a journalist didn't even like the fact that a child was calling him daddy. Could you imagine being Miles Davis trying to have a career in music in back time? You stand at the one that this white man, a liberal because he's a journalist,
right?
The one that the journalist don't want your child calling you daddy in front of him. You got to go to animal, a worse animal than him, to get your music played, for you to have performances. You understand? Half the shit he went through, Lord knows if he could even be in a relationship after that. They said, I don't know if this is biography, but I was told this, that Miles Davis would play and got on the audience and see it being all white people. The more he loved his music, inside, he would never bring it out, but inside he hated them more. And they said at one point he would turn around, turn his back to the audience and be playing. And the audience thought, the white people thought that it was just a artistic thing.
Right.
Like they turn around. But they said Miles was turning around to say to them, kiss my ass. And my black people, this is what I was told from people that know, okay, that he was to say these type of things when he went to Harlem. I can't guarantee he said it. I don't know if it's in his autobiography, but he was very, very bitter. You understand? And then him being a dark-skinned black man, which was damn near like a double taxation by these Edomites. They demonized us, and Cicely being dark too.
Right.
He was doubly taxed by these Edomites who, of course, are Edomites. We all know how they operate. So could you imagine? But I still wouldn't mind hearing her response to this beast. Yeah, there it is. See him? See, he's back to the audience. That's it. Back to the audience, right? And they couldn't understand.
He's doing the work. He found it.
And get up in the audience. And get away from the audience and turn his back on the audience. And they said Miles did that because he was angry that these Edomites loved his music and that black people couldn't even come there and afford to come to the concert. He would walk away as a jester. This is what was said. You know, man, because you imagine trying to become a superstar in that world. You imagine that during that time.
So, like a general,
please.
And I heard something similar with Louis Armstrong, aka Satchmo out of New Orleans. I've heard that you know what I'm saying, that through the grapevine. I still got to do research on it, but he had some kind of animosity because of how they treated him during that era and how they tried to take credit for jazz in that era. In jazz scene.
And if I could, on Satchmo, they came out. You can probably Google this. There is a cartoon character that they made of Satchmo, where they made him a gorilla playing a saxophone.
Or
a trumpet
in Jungle Book.
In Jungle Book. Right. That's what they did to Satchmo. You know what I mean? So could you imagine the uphill battle we was dealing with to deal with that, which is so why Martin Luther King sent all these brothers to their mental destruction. Even right there, you could tell Miles Davis there was high out of his mind. He could barely stand up. He bumping into stuff. He's stumbling while he on the stage because most of the time they were drugged up either by some Edomites that drugged them up, or some government experiment with LSD or something else, or just from the sheer racism they had to face day in and day out. And that should never be lost, man, because in Christ's kingdom, none of that is going to take place. In Christ's kingdom. Salaki.
Come on.
May, sir.
Please, y'all, jump in.
Come on, sir. I may just piggyback of what y'all was saying. Captain Tazaryak also brought out too as well when he was in the interview with that other Egyptology cat about how we after Martin Luther King, well, not after Martin Luther King, but Martin Luther King's movement, what we did was trade in our family structure for economics. It was saying like how our family structure is destroyed through integration, and it just plays out today. Even though back then they would do buck breaking and all that to take away the masculinity of the man. The man is the structure of the household. He's what gives the family strength. Like give your son strength to be a man. He bring the daughter upright on how to be a daughter and have morals on what to do and what not to do. And if they take that away, then you're going to end up with whores and drug dealers and people that'll do anything for money, sir. If I may, I just wanted to piggyback that too.
Listen, so true, Ox. So true. And if I could add a little piece more to what you're saying,
sir, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Who's that, Haas?
I think it's thing freezing.
Okay.
Haas, you there?
Yeah, we back. Come on, I can hear everybody.
What I was gonna say is that another piece to the puzzle as well was how when after the war, when so many black men were destroyed and maimed and messed up in the Vietnam War, how when they came home, when they were gone, how black women, for them to get welfare, had to have no man in the house.
Right.
Remember that? Like right along with what Morale was saying that Captain Tazaryak was bringing out. Like we had to trade, those black women had to trade their husbands for some food and milk from this beast.
Right.
You had to get rid of your husband so that he could now be your daddy with them funds. And brother, over all these years, he had a lot of time to destroy our family, to where now it's fully enveloped in the black woman's mind that you don't need no man, and that the bigger career, here's the mindset that they putting out on sisters now, that the bigger move is to forget about a man and focus on a career. And then, of course, now we finding out all the women who got brothers on child support, who went after their career, all of them now is turning 35 and 40. And now they all saying they can't get a man. They got big jobs. They making big money, but they can't keep a man at home. They don't have a man, or he don't meet their standard, or whatever brainwashing event is taking place inside of them that's destroying their whole, somebody keep hitting their mic, who's destroying their whole situation. And that comes from Esau, from years and years and years of Esau working on us to separate our women from our men, and to put our men in a position where they could not be over the household, man. Go ahead, Doc.
Come on. I'm gonna play the rest of what you.
Please, if you could get that point. What's that? What was that we was hitting? What is
I
that?
think it's just maybe movement, the mic picking up something.
Okay, maybe the table with Mirage.
You have to just mute the microphone until they're ready to speak.
Yeah. One of the things in my day that black women never really talked to each other about helping each other out. If we got a call for a job, we would run and hide. We were afraid it would be taken away from us. And I see that we're opening up to each other and we're working together you know? And that's what we need. In unity, in only unity, there is strength.
Tyson came up among a generation of Black artists who exemplified Black excellence. But beyond their impact on American culture, they were held together by the deep bonds of friendship. And she reflected on their loss over the years.
If you could jump to the relationship one, that'd be it, Michelle.
Oh, God. Of course I think about it. My mother there. What I've done since I've been here, why am I here so long? I don't belittle it at all. I'm amazed every single day.
96 and a legend.
Why am I here so long?
I'll ask you this. What does it feel like to be 96 and a legend?
Salaki, I think I might have skipped over it, or it might be in another one soon. It might be in another one with her and Miles. 1 second. Yeah, I'm gonna have to look for it and maybe come back to it. So probably not in this one, but it's at the end.
Yeah, don't even sweat it out. Don't even sweat it. Big shout out to Cicely Tyson, man, for holding down that torch, supporting brothers and making brothers, giving brothers some strength. You know what I'm saying? So now, have y'all heard? I'm sure y'all heard about the whole scandal that's spilling out into the street with T.I. and Tiny, where now they're being accused. And let me just make this clear. These are accusations. Nothing is written in stone or nobody's been charged with anything. But now one of their former associates is coming out trying to say that they were actually sex trafficking. They denied the allegations, but it's being said that they were having all manner of sexual events taking place in their house. Once again, us, hurting our moral strength and hurting our moral position. Let's check out a little bit of it if we could, y'all. We'll go into it a little bit.
Come on, Carson. You want the T.I. first, or do you want with the accuser?
Bring the accuser first, then let T.I. respond.
Come on, Carson. Okay, so this is a tape with some sister claim she was, invited to T.I. and them spot first.
I have a new baby and stuff. I'm like, okay, well, can I get back to you on this offer? So he's like, sure, you can get back to me, whatever. So now, of course, I speak to my fiance. I'm like, hey, what do you think I should do? Should I, meet up with these people? I see what they have to offer, whatever. And he's like, if you do go, I'm sure they're probably gonna have you sign something, whatever. And it's crazy because like as I'm seeing these stories, I'm seeing that this is exactly what they have these people do, like sign that you cannot speak about what's going on. So like I said, I considered it because of who they are. And then I thought back on it, because I myself am a rape victim from 2014, I had just questions of okay, so why do you want to fly me out? Why do you want to meet with me? He's like, oh, we have a venture for you. We can speak more in person about it, whatever.
Salaki, General, if I could say something right here, if you don't mind. Okay, this is the same thing when we were just talking about Cicely Tyson. She just say, she can't afford the luxury of just being an actor, because being successful in the space gonna give you money and opportunity, and you could take it as a luxury, you could get comfortable. Now she just admits she was a rape victim. Meanwhile, she's entertaining the thought of luxury because we have a venture for you, we don't fly you out. And it shows you the integrity that we had back then versus now, where you fully was abused. Cicely Tyson, she almost was raped. She fired the dude off, went home, and then she was on a mission to, speak up.
Right.
You was abused. You was a victim, and you entertaining a venture that seems, you know what I mean? We fall so far from it, and the Christian church is to blame. If the price is right, if the donations is right enough, if the car is nice enough, you will let anybody do anything to it.
That's heavy.
But it just didn't sit well with me onto why these people wanted. I have 2,000 followers at that time, probably less than that. So I'm like, what about me? Where did you know what I mean? I had so many questions in my mind about what did they really want. And then, you know, I brought this to my family's attention. I went to my mom. I'm like, Mom, look, such and such wants me to go. And, you know, everybody around me is like, go. I would have did it, you know. And like I said, I have my own family. And I'm like, well, you know, these people are these people. And after I go and come back, like, they're still going to have, you know, their families and stuff. And what am I, like, I don't really see what's the main reason. Like, yeah, I do sing, and you know, every girl, like you said, has dreams to be a model and do this and do that. But after I had a phone call with the two individuals, I just didn't understand, like, what did they want from me specifically? Because there was no actual. It was more so, when you get here, we'll speak about it. About a venture, as you see. And I'm like, okay, what kind of venture? Like, what is this exactly that you guys, you know, have in mind? And like, I'm shaking right now because I'm just so glad that I didn't go through with it, because it's so many females, as from what I could see, that has got taken advantage of. And like I said, I couldn't relate to it because I've been there. So, like, when somebody actually hit me up and was like, didn't these people hit you up? And then they sent me your link.
And so, like, if I could too, John, like how she said she asked her family, and the family is like, yeah, girl, I would have did it. Go ahead and do it. It's the same thing with the R. Kelly victims. You know, not to give R. Kelly a pass, but the parents was taking them young girls to R. Kelly on the hope of getting luxury, the same luxury that Cicely said she can't get comfortable in that shit. You know what I mean? That's true. Oh, you know, you see, like, even with the Maccabees, at one time the Maccabees, you know, they would, you know, go into war and fighting and preserving, and then over time they get relaxed, and then you know, they calm down the line, get relaxed, and now, you know, they had the Sadducees and Pharisees from it. So it's not mean like we in that era spiritually, where at one time it was all about the struggle, but now luxury, we need it. You know,
what you hitting on is so strong in that integration made us give up our honor.
Right.
Integration made us give up our honor.
Right.
And we integrated and then got comfortable. Integrated and then just took it that we was going to get a piece of the dream, and as a result, got smashed, got stepped on, and now we're not a part of that dream.
Right.
You know what I mean? What you saying is so right. Like, we got comfortable and now we got pushed all the way to the side when we could have gotten the dream. We just couldn't have gotten it with them.
Right.
Man.
Come on.
And if I could, Jenna, real quick, it's this, okay, this lust for doing well in this society means you're willing to let your kids go through anything that be able to make it in their eyes in this society. That lust for money and power is ridiculous, man. They push it in the Christian church. They push it on TV. They push it in the music to where now you don't care really about what's going on with your children. Like, with her having the past she had, why did her family say go ahead and go when she had reservations about it? Nobody's thinking about, you know what I mean, that honor, that integrity of, you know, and protecting, you know, these young sisters growing up. She said many people have already, you know, went and did these things. Like, where's the protection for these young sisters out here, you know what I mean, that's going through these things out here? They can prey on them because they get them with that lust of power. She made a comment, you know. She said, every little girl wants to grow up and be a princess, or wants to grow up and model and all that kind of stuff there. Now, a girl wants to model most times because somebody puts it in their head. That comes from them parents who are ill-equipped and push these things on these kids. The kid just want to be a kid and play. You understand? That bring pretty and cute stuff, that come from them parents who want to push them kids into something that they ain't ready for. Sloppy, sir.
Right. Can I read something on it up as we going into Psalm 45:9? Here's what it says. It says, King's daughters were among thy honorable women. Upon thy right hand did stand the queen in gold of Ophir. Hearken, O daughter, and consider, and incline thine ear. Forget also thine own people and thy father's house. so shall the king greatly desire thy beauty, for he is thy Lord, and worship thou him. And the daughter of Tyre shall be there with a gift. Even the rich among the people shall entreat thy favor. Now this is what the other nations try to lie to our daughters and say we would get. But really, this is what the Lord is going to give our daughters. This is what the Lord is going to give our women when they return back to the Most High. And there's another scripture, I know y'all know it, where the Lord said, he shall make a woman like a palace. Y'all remember that one?
Come.
Damn right. The Lord said, I'll make a woman. He's going to make a woman like a palace. Like, that's the level our daughters. I'm going to tell you something, man. Our sisters today look cheap and chintzy.
Come.
Some wigs look cheap and chintzy on them heads. Like it was a time where if you got a wig, you went to the beautician. Now you go out and get in the hair, sewing it in. And a lot of these sisters, I hate to say it, a lot of them is looking like drag queens.
Yep.
A lot of them got too much makeup on, funny wigs on. You looking very drag queenish, and that come from being worn out in this evil kingdom. We got to fight to get our integrity back, man. So this sister, and listen, what saved this sister, sadly, if these allegations are true, what saved this sister was the fact that she'd been raped before.
Right.
Sadly to say, like her being raped before made her cautious,
right,
to not go back and to get caught up in this again. Now, the only thing with this is the girl that's at the top that's bringing her in, she worked for T.I. and Tyson, and supposedly her accusation is that they put a gun to her head and had her recruiting girls for them. That's the accusation. Now, this girl's the one on the top is an ex-stripper, and she got a little criminal record and all that. But she's the one that now T.I. and Tiny, of course, are turning on her. Now, we don't know what the full story is, but it looks like a whole lot of deviancy was going on.
That's right.
Like it's looking like deviancy was run amok. And when you see T.I., you're gonna see T.I. pretty much admit that type of sexual he's not admitting the sex trafficking, but he's pretty much admitting that type of deviancy is what went on in their house. And it's such a fool's game. Our people get caught up, brother. Like our people need therapy and everything, especially those in Hollywood. And that's why, man, I don't look at none of them like they special. And no Hebrew Israelite should look at people in Hollywood and people that are famous as anything special unless they operate that way. Unless words come out their mouth and actions to back it up, like Cicely Tyson, then you shouldn't just because you like their music. That was the problem with Michael Jackson. I remember when Michael Jackson was on the scene, brother, black women would argue with you about he was not gay.
Right.
Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? When I said, well, he's fully dressed like a woman in it, he got makeup on, permanent eyebrows, lipstick, he got a skin bleach. He looked totally like, Elizabeth Taylor.
Right.
Yeah, but that's just how he's just different. He just different. He was different, all right. He was very different. They tried to say the same thing about Prince. You know what I mean? Like the same thing about him. Like these brothers, whether they like women or not, they totally stepped into the world of being a transvestite, an alternative sex life. Like this brother here, this is a walking horror show.
Yes, sir.
Right. Which is why after the light fell on him or was dropped on him, one of the two, he was in such severe pain when he should have retired anyway. But he was in such severe pain that he went on and tried to continue having concerts, man. And with that kind of wealth, he should have walked away from that, man. Right. Our daughters, like the Lord said, in the kingdom, they're gonna be amazing, huh? They're gonna have all the wealth and riches and power and everything. Y'all chime in anytime you get ready. But they have all the wealth and riches and power, brother, and the nations are gonna come and bring gifts to them. And we could be, and let me tell you, we don't even have to wait that long. We could be strong now. That's what
yes, sir.
we could be strong. We could be strong now just in walking towards the Most High. Just
that's right, sir.
Adopting a new set of rules in the way we deal with one another, we could be 10 times stronger.
That's right, sir.
Come on. If I could, I had a scripture for you that you're causing.
Go ahead.
Psalms 144:12. That our sons may be as plants grown up in their youth, that our daughters may be as cornerstones, polished after the similitude of a palace. You know, just going off of what you were saying, like you know, that's the standard that our women are supposed to have, and to a point, even in our destruction, we still at that level above them anyway. But we ain't where we supposed to be. You know what I mean? Like, to a point, even in our destruction, our sisters still stand out way more than them. Like, they deform themselves to look like our people. And now, you know, we trying to deform ourselves to keep up with them. And the whole is that whole spirit, that masculine spirit they put on that make them, you know, and they say there's a bad bitch and this and that. That's it, you dressing like a man. And as they say, the transgenders and the transsexuals, there's no transgender that looks like a librarian. There's no transgender with a, you know, that dress up like Miss Doubtfire.
That's true.
They all try to be, you know, the nastiest hole that could be. So when you see the ones, the Cardi B, the Megan Thee Stallion, that image of a woman, that's really a man. That's a trans image you attracted to. And we twist it up now. Like, you think, like you, brothers in the world, unless she is like that or look like that, you can't be attracted to her. And the proof is that Megan Thee Stallion, she recently posted pictures without all the makeup, without all the hair, and people could not believe it was her.
Wow.
Right.
You put the stuff on, it's like, that's a woman, that's a man. I'm telling you, it's a man.
Wow.
That bad bitch image, that whole Beyonce image is a man.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
Salakia, Mashak.
Salakia.
Salakia, General. The ending in verse 15 is the perfect part right there. It says, "Happy is that people that is in such a case. Yea, happy is that people whose God is the Lord." You understand? We our sons should be like tender plants or grown up, and our daughters should be as cornerstones. And you know what I'm saying? They looking for happiness, thinking that they got to do anything and everything for the so-called white man in order to, you know, get happiness. But if we would serve the Lord, then we would get the fruits of, you know what I'm saying, that we're looking for. So, you know.
If I could, you got to be the dumbest bitch in the world. Excuse my French. You got to be the dumbest woman in the world. If you think that the Lord is going to be on your side while you operate as an immoral monster. Like, why would he be on your side? You know,
that's right, sir.
Like, boy, oh boy, we've done such a disservice to our women by allowing Martin Luther King. When I say we, I don't mean we and he. I'm talking about us as a people, blacks, Latinos, and Native Indians. Like, for us to have allowed this beast to damn near give our women, he told our women, you should have women's rights, and because of it, he totally took her from underneath our authority.
Okay.
Hey, Marah, check your mic if that's your mic. I think that might be Marah. Somebody in there keeps hitting something.
We muted. We were muted, sir. I don't know who it is.
Okay, maybe it's something in the system. But going back to what I was saying, right? Like, oh yeah, I think whatever it was, I think you could like you got to be the dumbest dumb in the world to think that you can, you know, be lewd and lascivious and then tell yourself you're a good person. You can't live like that and expect the Most High to bless you. You understand? You're going to have to at some point say to yourself, man, I got to evaluate the things that I do and the life that I live. And you got to start to make them steps and changes in that correct direction. You know what I'm saying? Come.
And Salaki, sir, if I may.
Please, Cap.
And it came out recently in recent reports that T.I. is very strict when it comes to his daughter.
Mhm.
Like the two recent reports that came out that he actually came under fire with was one, like he calls his father-daughter time thought prevention hours, and the internet went crazy over it. And prior to that, he says that he goes with his daughter annually to the gynecologist to make sure that her hymen isn't popped, which is that he sees whoredom all around him and he's trying to prevent his daughter. You understand?
It's crazy. If I could, General, and I want to say to Wada for what you've done and what you taught us in this truth, right? You know what I mean? And you kept in this school from them 7 heads down to you. Well, from the Most High to Christ, them 7 heads down to you, right? I want to speak on this one thing about our daughters and the children, right? And why it's so imperative that a black man need to be in the house around his kids. Now, my oldest daughter, right? She in school, she doing her thing, she all right. So I picked up the other day from her job, from her slave, right? And I'm sitting in the car watching her, right? And me being dad, you know, I'm dad a little bit. As my wife, as she said, I'm a little bit overzealous. But I'm watching her. So I see somebody walk by her with his hands up as he's walking by. So I'm saying, did he just holler at my daughter? And I'm looking. So they closed the store down. And she come get in the car. I said, baby girl, did your coworker just holler at you? And she said, what? No, Dad, that didn't happen. And I said, oh, okay. And then later on, she brought it back up to me like, Dad, you know, just relax some, Dad. Like, she said that you got to chill. I'm all right. I got this. And I couldn't say nothing back. But then I realized that I thought about it. I didn't raise my daughter a certain way. And I never seen her deviate from the way I raised her, and it's truth. So, yeah, I had to let myself know that, yeah, she's going to be fine. She all right. They just me being, you know, me being dad and, you know, looking for anything. But I realized because of the way I raised her that she respects herself. She don't let nobody disrespect her. And she's going to raise herself and live her life in the truth way she's supposed to. And I had to put it back in my head like, okay, just calm down, Haas. Everything going to be all right. But that's only because of this truth and what you gave and taught us. You understand? That I can see her blossom into a young lady like that there. You understand? It is one thing I thought about as I was hearing all these things and saying these things here, is just, you know, the truth of everything and how we raise our children, daughters and sons. Slocky, sir.
That's right. If you want, I don't know if you want to jump to the TI part of it. Or Slocky, so your mic is muted, sir.
Yeah, let's jump to T.I.'s response.
Come on, sir.
So, as y'all can probably guess or imagine, it's been extremely difficult for me to be quiet in light of all the things that have transpired and all of the egregious allegations that's been tossed around about me and my wife. But there's a reason for that. And I don't mind sharing it. You see, if a person does not have any right to criminally or civilly have you in court, they have no right. The best thing they can do is get you for a defamation suit, drag you in court, make you pay their legal bill to get you in court. Now, I mean, at this point, man, this is the point where that don't even matter. Okay? But that's the motive, that's the strategy, that's the intention. Say a whole bunch of false stuff about you that get people to believe and make them come out and say, they're a liar, they're a liar, they're a liar. And then they say, see, they call me a liar. That's defamation. And then drag you in court, get you under oath and all that. Because unfortunately, right now, it doesn't matter as much what they can prove you did. It matters what you can prove you did. You know what I mean? That's just an unfortunate place that our society has made it to. But I want to be clear about one thing. Women who have been victimized deserve it. Women, black women in particular, should be supported, protected, defended, and uplifted. Hey,
like Salaki said, he's saying that now, but that don't matter when he had to fill up his strip club though.
Say again?
I say he's saying that black women need to be supported, protected, uplifted. But when he have that, he have a strip club called Live. I think it's Live or Live.
He owns a strip club.
He owns a strip club, sir. Oops. He owns a full out strip club.
So, the Bible says this: whatsoever a man soweth, that shall he also reap.
That's right.
Yeah. He I think I would have believed him more if he would have said it's because I'm trying to buy BET. You know what I mean? It's crazy.
Like first of all, he's high as hell.
Right.
Second of all, he still ain't came all the way out and said, "Listen, hell no, that ain't what happened. It's a damn lie." We waiting to hear that part in the tape.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I give it to him for trying to put on a positive public persona, but running a strip club will get you crossed with the Most High.
Right.
And where's your moral compass, especially in his case, because he got a family show, doesn't he, with his wife and his kids?
Come.
Like you got to fight to try. You got to try to have a better standard. It's better to walk away than to lie,
right?
And to live a lie. You know what I'm saying? It's better to say I ain't gonna do this show because I'm really over here doing this.
Right.
It's better to do that. You know what I mean? It's better to walk away. It's better even to walk away from an evil broad than to live a lie, be humiliated later on because you didn't admit that you stepped off because you thought it was evil as hell.
Right.
It's better you stepped off than you sat up there and stayed up in it, and then now it's coming back to bite you. You know what I mean? And he owning the damn strip club. Go ahead.
Come.
And if I could,
get down.
If I could, it's okay. I ain't gonna say it is, but he is with his daughter, right? With the thought prevention of going to see if her hymen is broken, all that stuff there. You know what I mean? Off the owner of the strip club and all the evil things he done to sisters in that strip club, but it's why he is. It would make sense as to why he is the way he is with his daughter.
Right.
You understand? Like he in the world, he not the truth. This cat's still doing evil things, and he don't want them things that he see these other girls going through. He don't want his daughter going through it. Why he's so caught up and so tight on her that makes sure she's okay, which is why this makes sense.
And if I could, which is why we got to raise our moral standards way high, because you can't escape the Most High. How you gonna think you can escape the Most High? If you and this brother and his rib, they've been caught a couple of times selling drugs and stuff like that as well. Am I wrong on that or no?
No, he for sure was a drug dealer in the streets. He ran the streets real heavy down in Atlanta. Oh yeah.
Okay, I don't know about now, but my point is without you repenting and changing how your moral standard, the Most High, he gonna always come back and get you.
Mm-hmm.
And this might be the beginning of them coming to get him.
Yeah.
And if they was doing that sexual deviancy with that woman, with those women, then if they think that ain't going to come back and bite them, again, these are just allegations. But if they think that ain't going to come back and bite them, then they sadly mistaken. Because the Most High, he comes to get you if you don't repent.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Op.
Go.
Oh God! I would think it started with his family because his son, he has a young son that looked like he want to go down Michael Jackson road with wearing the chokers like one of them rock bands, looking like a woman, spiking them. Look weird as hell. You know what I mean? So like you might need this.
Wow, he may have already been molested.
Come on.
You know what I mean? And I can imagine in Hollywood, forget about it.
Mm-hmm.
In Hollywood, and you having a busy schedule, that's absolute hell when you have children. You got that kind of busy schedule, you got stuff you trying to do all the time. You understand? That's absolute hell. You know what I mean? You trying to raise them kids, and every predator is around you everywhere. You know what I mean? Most of which are looking for an opportunity to feed themselves or get to, oh my God, this is the boy?
That's his son. That's his son.
Oh yeah, this is real weird right here, brother. Like, this is weird here.
And he embraced that shit. He, nobody tell him nothing about, nobody try to change him up, nothing.
Yeah. And see, they turn. Go ahead, Mashak. And let me tell you something. They turn on stuff and they see like what's Will Smith's kid?
That's what I was just gonna say, Jaden.
Yeah, Jaden.
They see him. He getting big contracts and endorsements,
right?
And millions of dollars. And they kids coming up thinking about, well, how can I get my career up?
Right.
They see that alternative lifestyle on them, and they add that alternative lifestyle to themselves. And before you know it, they off the track. Because this right here, this is real out there. Is that your keyboard, Mashak? What is that? Haas, you know that ain't Haas, bro. Haas, mute yours. Mute yours. Like, if you could, just to add to it.
So, like, sir.
Yeah, that's you. Go ahead, Q.
Yeah, I'm trying to see the flip side of it, because I know they have this Me Too movement going on as well. That's from Cosby on down or what have you. These sexual allegations against men and what have you. I'm trying to see if anybody has any insight on why this continues to happen. You understand? And it like you're showing the results that happen to the children, the daughters and the sons, as well as with these allegations of power and degradation is coming straight out of the Christian church. I know that's where our portion of where we get in trouble with this is coming from. But if anybody else could speak on that, I'd appreciate it.
I definitely can speak on it. I'm gonna tell you where a lot of all this comes from. A lot of all of this that you see going on comes from not doing what the Lord has authorized, has ordered us to do when it comes to being being successful and being in charge of your own people, or being successful in your own people. The Lord said this, and y'all can probably pull this for me in the law. This brother here, boy, this is to be a father and see your son like this. This is a very, very hurt piece here, brother. But what I was going to say is, pull that scripture for me where it says, thou shalt not see thy brother. I mean, if thy brother asks thee for something, not where Christ said it, but in the law, where he said, if thy brother asks you for something to eat, or if he come on the, y'all know what I'm talking about?
Sorry, you talking about if you fall into?
Yeah, that's a very good one. Give that one, if you could. Some scriptures for me, because here's what the problem is in Hollywood. The problem is in Hollywood is that entertainers, sports figures, and those that have been successful in Esau's kingdom are following Esau's program of what you do when you're successful. Let me explain something to you. The Lord bless you. You get $1 million. The Lord bless you. Here's what you're supposed to do. What you're supposed to do now is take up the mantle of taking care of your people. You're supposed to take up the mantle. The whole idea of wealth, the whole point of wealth is to help those that are among your people that are not wealthy. That's what money is for. Take that money with you. Michael Jackson, my brother, and Esau stole damn near all his estate. He left it all in his mother's name, and brother Santa Monica and them tried to take the ranch. They tried to steal the memorabilia. He had the Beatles records. What our people don't understand is when you become wealthy, it is your job, according to the scriptures, to go and that's right, Netherland Ranch. They tried to rob all of that. Okay, when it is your job to focus on your people. Like, them millions ain't for you to find more sexual deviancies. Because once again, what happens is, what Satan plays them into is, you sitting in this big mansion, you got millions. Now you getting bored. You're gonna get bored. You trying to find ways for this money to make your life better than the life you had before you had this money. Right. Like, before you had this money, you was all right having sex with you and your woman. Maybe you had a woman on the side or whatever the case may be. Now you done got up into this mansion and you got all this money. You now thinking you got to enhance this more. You got to be more. You got to have more excitement now. You done bought the house. You done bought the cars. You done bought the boats. You done bought the planes. So now what's next? So what happens? That's when Satan lies at the door. Instead of here's where the path you're supposed to take. You're supposed to say, I got everything I need. Now, what do I have? What do I do for the Lord's people? What do I do for my 12 tribes? What do I do to go back to the Hispanic, to the Latino? That's what's supposed to, damn right. Like that's, and once again, because you will never run out of the poor among your people, that's a lifelong job. And listen, with great gratitude, great satisfaction, ain't nothing greater satisfaction than having thousands of people. Instead, what we do is we go into the left-hand side, and we're going to bring this out in the scriptures. We go into the left-hand side, go after all the lust, and then we rely on Esau's government to feed the poor people. Or worse, we take that wealth and shine and humiliate our own people that are poor.
Right.
Instead of doing the job the Lord called you to do, he gave you that money to help. He gave you that money to take care of them. Read that scripture for me. Kahan, did you find it? Who got it? You got to take yourself off mute. Yeah. Whoever.
I got it, General, if you want it.
Yeah, there he go. The dumbest nigga on the planet right here. And he looked dumb. He looked like the dumbest nigga planet.
Yeah. He about something today is long.
Go ahead. What you got?
Leviticus 25 and 35.
Go ahead.
And if thy brother be waxing poor and fallen in decay with thee.
Right. If he waxed poor and fall in decay. Once again, are we not falling in decay? As blacks, Latinos, and Native Indians not falling into poverty? They ain't just talking about your homie up the block. It's talking about your people. Go ahead.
Then thou shalt relieve him, yea, though he be a stranger or a sojourner, that he may live with thee.
Right, that thou shalt relieve him. Meaning, even though he a stranger, he from another part of the country, from another part of the area, he's still one of your brothers. You're supposed to be actively operating that way. You de facto government agent for your own people once you become wealthy and famous. House, go ahead and put y'all put them on pause. Everybody pause out your mute your mic until you except for Mashak. I don't think Mashak can.
Come on, it's some more in the scripture if you want, General.
Yeah, I definitely want you to come back on it, House. But let me just say this: like you are a de facto agent of the Lord's government when you become successful. You're supposed to. That's your job. You're supposed to now say, "All right, you supposed to ask what do I need." And you're supposed to be realistic. Once again, we train like a trained dog to just chase after every lust. So we don't even have a compass when the money come in. You understand? You got entertainers, man, and sports figures made millions, bought tons of Rolls Royces, mansions, summer homes, all of this. You hear about them later. These ball players and stuff, they broke. Or they lost tons of money in the stock market. And all of these different things that they do because once again, they out of focus. They supposed to be getting together with the same understanding that they all supposed to have, which is I'm successful. What am I supposed to be doing? And here's the thing too. It also makes you a better leader because the fact that the people come to you. And if I could just use an example of a wicked race that made themselves look so honorable in their crime by mimicking what we are supposed to do. I mean, they made themselves look so goddamn honorable in showing what we were supposed to do. And that is the Italian mafia. If you go back and you look at the Godfather, and you go back and you look at when they flash back to the beginning when the father came over. And remember when the father came over and they opened up the olive oil company? And remember he was sitting in the olive oil company, and then the wife comes to him and says how her girlfriend is living in some apartment building, and as she's living in the apartment building, because she got a dog to keep her comfortable, the landlord wants to throw her out. I don't know if y'all saw that in Godfather. I think it's in Godfather 2 when they flash back.
Come.
So then in the movie, eventually they find he goes and talks to the guy dismisses him, but then the guy finds out he's the Godfather. So the guy comes running back to him and apologizing to him and say, the lady could stay, and I'm gonna reduce her rent, and so he reduces the rent. And in that movie, they letting you know that these gangsters made all this money, but that these gangsters are now being responsible for their own people. Like they because of their wealth and power, they taking leadership over their own people. They get that from us. That comes from the scriptures, huh?
Right. So like it, John.
Yeah, go ahead, Con.
He made, look, not only did he reduce it, he kept, when he saw that he didn't get a facial expression, he said, well, she can live rent free.
Damn.
So like you said, what you saying, they became street lords over these different provinces. And if I could, General, it's almost similar. Like you said, it's similar. It's the spirit we should be in, but like it's on the left-hand side with these drug lords, because when you go down, I'm in Florida right now. They consider South Florida, North Florida, consider South Florida a banana republic, because there's so many Benjamites, Levites, Manassites, and different Puerto Ricans, tribe of Ephraim down here, and they pretty much they didn't got power over some of these boroughs and neighborhoods and things like that. So what you're saying is spot on, General. What you're saying is spot on. We would be on the right hand side with the Lord. We do it on the left hand side.
Yeah.
So like,
we definitely. And if I could, right before you come in, and if I could, here's what the messed up part is. The messed up part is our brothers who's out there committing crimes and selling dope and all that. They the ones that become in the leadership because the ball players won't do it,
right?
Because the entertainers won't do it, right? Because instead you sitting in your mansion, you understand, behind your gates, having orgies and sex and doing every lewd act, trying to find every way for this money that you have to give you a greater satisfaction or a greater fulfillment of lust, when in fact you could be the guy running the whole situation down there.
Right.
You could be the guy carving out pieces and saying, I'm gonna make sure these people are all right. And then guess what? Then it wouldn't be a turf war, because you wouldn't be, you understand, you wouldn't be trying to sell dope as your means of income to stay in power. Once again, we follow the Italians. Once again, we started doing that, following the Italian mafia. But before that, man, our black leaders back then, when you go back and check it out in the 20s, our leaders were black entertainers, black professors, black lawyers. They were the ones in your neighborhood trying to run our situation. Good quote. I'm not a role model. Just because I dunk a basketball doesn't mean I should raise your kids. Like, that's a selfish pig.
That's right.
Like, that's a selfish pig.
Look like
right there. Like, Cicely Tyson would have never said this. This is this is a selfish pig right here. When you do have that responsibility. And not only do you have that responsibility, you have the responsibility to raise all of the Lord's children that don't have a father. But of course, that don't go to Charles Barkley, because he's a disgusting piece of garbage. But it's all right. The Israelite school of UPK will be their father.
General, if I could,
please.
General, what the scriptures say, be a father to the fatherless.
Right.
That's what the scriptures say.
That's right.
And like what you said earlier about Cicely Tyson, like, it became not luxury, but an obligation.
That's
like,
right.
One thing that you taught us in I.S.U.P.K is that we are bound to our nation. We are bound to the responsibility. It's our duty. Like, regardless of what position we have in our oppression, in the year of our oppressor, we still have an obligation, and we are bound, and that right there binds us as a nation. And once we know we have that, we have a structure, and we have something that we can't break. You know what I'm saying? It's a lock here.
Right, damn right. Like, that's so once again, If somebody was somebody else gonna jump in, I'm sorry, Salakia. Q, I think you were trying to
say exactly what I was gonna say. Captains, I want to say something.
Come.
I don't want to interrupt you though, sir.
Get down.
And it's crazy though that you see so much courage in sisters over so many brothers. It's like, but that's why I love that sister though, Naomi Osaka. You understand? Like she's a class act, highest paid female athlete in the world right now. You understand? Basically replaced Serena Williams, dating her brother, and then turns around and first of all, she checks every reporter who tries to deny her of her Haitian roots from her father. And then she turns around and during the finals, she refused to play because of what was going on with the riots and George Floyd. And she said, before I'm an athlete, I'm a black woman.
Damn. That's, you know what I'm saying? That's a sister. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Man. We love all the fireworks you providing, Captain
Mashak. You trick that was
cold.
You know what I'm saying?
Like that. Now imagine if you put that in our people, and once again, people with power and influence, like entertainers, man, if they could say to themselves, I'm satisfied, now I'm gonna focus on my people, just like Moses did. Could you imagine the influence on young black women based on what that sister just said? That quote that you just told me that she just said, it probably went out to thousands of people, Kahan, and to the brothers. It probably went out to thousands and thousands and tens of thousands of sisters and moved them a little closer to that higher moral standard. So if T.I. and Tina could have adopted that spirit, then they could spend their wealth and money on something more productive. And this sister's the highest paid. It ain't like she losing because she did that. It ain't like you got that's another illusion that you're going to lose because you decide to not turn your soul over to the empire. When every other nation is allowed to not turn their soul over to the empire, why you can't be afforded the same ability to do, which is insane. And so to go back to the original point, that's the whole reason Hollywood is a sexual, drug-induced, deviant mess instead of a place of power and support. Like they should be sitting in their mansions discussing who they giving loans to.
Right.
What real estate are they buying back from the so-called Jew?
Right.
What funds are they investing in new projects for blacks and Latinos and Native Indians?
Exactly.
And I bet, and not I bet, I know also based on the scriptures that the Lord would bless them in it. Like he would look on them and say, oh, like once again, we missed the mark on what it is that the Lord wants, which is the problem. We've been taught that the Lord wants you to praise him in the church like he's a dumb broad. Like God sitting in heaven like a dumbass looking for somebody to come along and say, Jesus, we love you. Oh, Lord, we love you. Jesus, we love you. Like God ain't a dumb, stupid female sitting in the club waiting to get gawked at because she got on a miniskirt. That ain't who Jesus Christ is, man. That ain't who the Lord is. The Lord is about his people, his gift, his blessing, his inheritance. That's what he's about. You understand? And so if you got a small modicum of good sense, you would be about that. You would say, listen, I've been blessed in this kingdom by the hand of the Most High for him to shine on me, or however you want to call it. Then let me go out there now and get my people straightened out. You come into some money, you are de facto automatically under the responsibility of utilizing those funds. A lot of these entertainers spending all kind of money on Wall Street.
Right.
And boy, you better watch out because they just took down $5 billion worth of hedge fund. And listen, here's another brother that was on the right track. I don't know his whole story, but this brother LeBron, man, some of the statements that he made during the George Floyd and during the COVID, brother, was so positive toward. He was one of the ones that kind of broke out a little bit. Of course, Colin Kaepernick went ahead of him, and he didn't lose nothing behind it.
Right.
Money is strong, intact. They did a little graffiti on his mansion, but that was about it. Why don't you do it? He got once you done made it. But once again, here's what determines it. And let me tell you something. Here's what the power of the Lord's people don't know that they have. Here's what our people don't know that they have. They don't know, like we know in this truth, that we have the power to decide what is and what is not acceptable among us. Right. But we don't realize that. Like we don't realize that we could decide whatever we want. If we decide, look, certain things is not acceptable, certain statements is not acceptable, then guess what? Those that are in power, those that are in charge, would then be forced to do the right thing when it's necessary. We used to have a term for it. We used to call it selling out. Right. You were blacklisted from Latinos and neighbors because you went and sided with people who's ripping off and robbing God's people. So we called you a sellout, or we called you an uncle. Well, let me hit you with something. Entertainers and sports figures should be put back under that peer pressure. Then Charles Barkley won't open his stinking mouth out of turn, and other idiots like him, like Steve Harvey. And other disgusting idiots that blind black women and destroy families and will not confer with the brothers who they should be conferring with to know and understand what the hell they're supposed to be doing as successful black men and black women. But that's okay. They don't have to, because by the hand of the Most High, we will raise up the Israelite school, and then all their entertainers will be Israelite. You understand? I didn't mean to cut y'all off. Y'all jump in. Come on, whoever was going to jump in. Y'all go ahead and jump in. Go ahead.
Just like even the initial story with how the reports were bad about the father and the strong black man image, like you remember, I don't know if you remember, LeBron, the California sheriff was like, LeBron needs to shut his mouth and put up money for the reward when them cops had got shot out there.
Yeah,
so it's okay for him to pay for when it's justice for you all.
Right.
But how dare he, protest against when it's justice for us?
Exactly. Wasn't that some evil mess? Like he can't shoot. He can't talk. He can't talk when it comes to speaking up against the injustice being done to black men. But as soon as them sheriffs get shot, it's like, why he ain't being just now? Why he ain't coming up off the money now? Like, these people are monsters, man. And let me tell you something. And he only got that flack. He only got that flack because enough ball players didn't speak up.
Right.
Like, had enough ball players been saying, hell no, hell no, hell no, then guess what? It wouldn't have been no issue, because they would have been like, they would have known. They would have known the minute they shot a black man, they would have been, oh boy, here come the NBA, the NFL, the what's all the other ones? They would have already known.
Right.
They would have known that in the front of the protest would have been all the Hollywood figures, all the sports figures, all the musicians, all of that. You understand? Oh. And let me tell you something else. I'm gonna pass it real quick. And that's why instead of all these other things, these entertainers need to show more photographs of themselves with their families and themselves. Like, they need to set the example. Once again, part of your leadership is in all that. Part of your leadership is in all that is setting the example, showing the example. Like, they should all be taking pictures with their kids and their family and showing, like what T.I. tried to do with trying to have that family show was, to a degree, it was good to show that side of us. Okay. Right. But of course, all the shit, all the stuff going on in the background shows you that he was not capable of doing that job. And really, to do the job, when you get wealthy and powerful like that, you're supposed to go see the men of the Lord so that you can, one, pay your tithes, because their job is to always take care of the people. And then two, you're supposed to turn around and get with the men of the Lord so you could know what it is you're supposed to do.
That's right.
You're supposed to conduct yourself. Salakia, go ahead, Khan. I mean, or whoever was coming in.
Khan, Salakia, sir. And I think it's a testament to the I.S.U.P.K. and the work that the foundation that you help continue to uphold, that these talking points that these celebrities and athletes are saying are coming from the I.S.U.P.K. without a shadow of a doubt, because we are in the stream. Those people, those streamers and memers that's listening to the show, the longtime supporters of this BLACKWATCH and the other radio affiliates of the I.S.U.P.K., they listening to what you're saying, General. And make no mistake about it. Like, these athletes, they know who we are. They know what you are saying, and they need to do what you said just now, is to make sure they pay their tithes and get racial consultation, get these political consultations they need from the I.S.U.P.K. because unbeknownst to some, that cancel culture is what you just said. When you was talking about how certain people have to fit into the mold that the Lord set up, it goes, you know, hand in hand with the scriptures when it talks about the Lord would cut off certain people if they didn't do what was required among the nation. So that's that cancel culture right there. They think they coined the term cancel culture, but that's already in the Bible in the Old Testament. Salaki.
Damn right. Damn right. Please, yo.
If I may, you know, like what I believe it's gonna take is just on a different level of a natural progression of what I've seen since coming to this truth. Like in my short stay, I was talking about this earlier with General Q. I came in during like the death rattle of our people having like such a hatred for us when we were in the streets. Like I remember being in Harlem and it was our own people battling us, spitting, death threats, you know, understand, trying to throw bottles, whatever the case may be, because they couldn't stand what it is that we were saying. And then over time, you saw a body drop on camera, another one, another one, another one, another one, so on and so forth over the years, that the Christians were silent. You know, it went from such a static attack against us to everybody being silent.
Yeah.
As more oppression started to come, it went to, you know, I agree with some of what you say, just not all of it.
Yeah.
And then from there, it once Trump got in office, it turned into, what you guys are saying is right. Could you just say it differently? Because they don't want to step on masses' toes. They don't want to offend our oppressor.
Right.
And that's what it's going to take for them. Like it's going to take them to be able to get the gumption up when they just get fed up enough with the oppression that they feel a certain call to morality, because that's where it's at now. Now I've seen the tide change in the street to we have battles and the crowd is on our side.
Right.
And when people come against us, even if it's an Edomite, whatever the case may be, they're like, no, we agree with them. They're here for us. And I think that's the only way that it can shift.
Damn right. If I could, the Lord said, give me jumping in and let y'all get in real quick. The Lord said that he used the foolishness of preaching to confound the wise. Yeah. That's why what we do every day, every camp, I.S.U.P.K, on these streets, it's going to change Black, Latino, and Native Indian America. It's going to change their hearts and their souls, and they're going to require more out of our entertainers, man. We're going to require more out of them. Just like Cicely said, you know what I mean? Our entertainers and sports figures today cannot afford the luxury of just being an entertainer. You can't afford that luxury now. They got to get out there and represent. And if they don't, we'll represent until the Lord removes them out of the goddamn way, man. Okay?
Oh, God.
Somebody else want to jump in, Salakia?
Yeah, if I could, General, if I could I have a brother give me Jeremiah 26:12 real fast?
Damn right.
12 and 13? Because you can't be both ways with the Lord. Now, what the brothers is bringing out, they listening to this show. The things you've been dropping to them, they hearing what you're saying. They listening. And they saying certain things and then, you know, try to say what we say, but don't have the effect because they not us. And they live in a double life.
Exactly.
They doing things behind the scenes that we don't know about as evil. You got to cut all that off, because if you don't cut that off, the Lord gonna come see you. And when he come see you, he gonna bring up all your hypocrisy. Somebody got that scripture for me?
You said Jeremiah.
I got it, sir.
Read for me, Jeremiah 26 and 12 and 13. Go ahead.
Jeremiah chapter 26, verse 13. Therefore, now amend your ways and
go to verse 12 first, brother. Verse 12.
12, Salaki, sir. Chapter 26, verse 12. Then spake Jeremiah unto the princes and to all the people, saying,
now this is
Lord
what
sent me
this
to
is what we do. This is what we do in the UPK. You know what I mean? The charges you gave us. And one Passover, sir, at the graduation, we said our job was go get our people. And we go get our people by teaching them this truth. That's how it was done. You know what I mean? The words of the Lord. You understand? We're going to Israel. And we telling you what the Lord is saying. Continue, brother.
The Lord sent me to prophesy against this house.
Which is what we doing. Which is what we doing, man. Against the evil that they doing, man. And teaching our people to stop being hypocrites. Like you said, so the church will make you sing and dance and you feel good because you got that high off of your back, but you're being evil in the background. And the Lord is revealing your sins in front of the whole earth, man. Continue reading.
All the words that ye have heard. Therefore now amend your ways and your doings, and obey the voice of the Lord your God. And the Lord will repent him of the evil that he hath pronounced against you.
Y'all got it twisted when y'all think the Most High is all about love and kisses and hugs. He ain't that man. The Lord is a man of war. Right. You understand? The Lord loved the children of Israel. And he see your hypocrisy in what you're doing. The Lord is telling you now, through his prophets, you got to change. You can't be hypocrites no more. Just say one thing and then behind closed doors, you're doing something else. Right. You understand? You can't be that way, man. And everybody hear what we're saying. And if you don't change your ways, man, the Lord gonna reveal you and all the evil you are doing. It's gonna happen. And he gonna put you right on Front Street. For all that hypocrisy you're doing, being hypocritical, but you want to sound like you so about your people, but behind doors you're doing evil going on out here. I seen one thing on a Black Lives Matter where it was a sister in there and she performing voodoo, saying she want to bring back the old spirits to help what's going on out here today. That's what we talking about. That hypocrisy. You're supposed to be about black people, but you're doing voodoo, which is against the law. You understand? We can't be hypocrites no more. And they hear and they see the UPK, what we doing for the people. They see the charge you done held up in the school, you know. They see it. But they know they can't give it up because they love that money and that wealth too much. Mm-hmm. But if you can't give it up, get out the way and let us go do our jobs. That's right. If not, the Lord gonna show, he gonna lift up your skirt and he gonna show you've been a hypocrite all this time.
That's heavy. And I pray, I tell you, for his sake, I pray that is not the case, because something y'all mentioned earlier, man, how he used to meet with his daughter and have meetings with his daughter to keep her moral level up. So if you were doing that and having sexual parties and orgies and running women through there, then why didn't you think of them the same way? Right. Or did you just look at them like they was whores, so you could do that with them, but you were going to make sure your daughter didn't become a whore? Right. Once again, being raised up without understanding what it is you're supposed to do when you become successful. You understand? When you become successful, how you supposed to operate, your responsibility. By not doing that, you turn around now and you disregard them sisters and don't care about their lives, but instead you care more about, your daughter's life. How selfish is that? How selfish as a human being is that? You're going to make sure your daughter's all right. You're going to make sure she get in the counsel she deserves, but you ain't going to worry about the other sisters. I pray for his sake it's not true. Can I read something for y'all real quick? This is Ezekiel, the 16th chapter, 58, 59 verse. And here's what it says. Ezekiel,
you want me to get it for you?
If you could, General, I appreciate it.
I got you.
The water. Like we got to fight to add something to us that is no different than the love we have for everything else that's in the Black and Latino community. Like Black and Latino Native Indian people, they love basketball. It's part of our culture today. Right. But you know what? What also should be part of our culture is raising up all our sisters out of the darkness with the right authority over them. What should also be in our culture is black men just fighting and striving for their authority over their woman no more. That woman's liberation movement destroyed the black community. And it was backed up by many a closet homosexuals, man. And they also brought in that whole DNA thing and ancestry thing, because that helped that movement break women away from us, break them away from our authority. That should also be in our culture. Should also be in our culture. We should also look sideways at situations when brothers are not over their women and raising them right and giving them the protection that they deserve. Then we would raise great daughters. We would do amazingly well. Go ahead, Haas, read that.
Cut on, you said Ezekiel 16. What's the verse, sir?
58.
Ezekiel 16, verse 58. Thou hast borne thy lewdness, and thine abomination, saith the Lord.
Right. We born our lewdness. The Lord, lewdness means like sexual deviancy, man. Sexual wicked acts. The Lord said we born them acts, man. We done took on them abominations. And now we're gonna pay the price for it. We're gonna pay the price for all of those acts, man. And boy, we gotta get it right now. Go ahead, read 59.
Cut on, verse 59. For thus saith the Lord God, I will even deal with thee as thou hast done.
That should frighten everybody. That verse I just read right there, that part of that verse should bring fear and terror. If you got any good sense, that verse should bring fear and terror into your life. That verse right there is supposed to make you say to yourself, what did I discarded and cared nothing about the Lord's thoughts on it? What have I done out there? And if you've done that out there, you better repent quick. Y'all, you better repent absolutely as quick as you possibly can, because put your phones on mute for a second, except from the shot, just so I could come on through. Like you should be absolutely in terror and fear that you have crossed the Most High, and what have you done? Because he said you born your lewdness and abomination. So now he gonna deal with you as the way you have done. Go ahead, finish that verse. Salaki Haza.
Which thou hast despised the oath and breaking the covenant.
Which you despised the oath and broke the covenant. That covenant is these laws, statutes, and commandments given to us by the Lord. You broke that covenant of those laws, statutes, and commandments. And by breaking that covenant, man, of those laws, statutes, and commandments, you have turned against the Most High's deal with us, which means he can turn against you. Right. Which means he can cut you off now. He can bring back everything you did and put it back on you. Since you turned on him and turned against what he said to do. That's what a man of the Most High is supposed to do. You come into $1 million, you get a hit record, you become a superstar ball player, all that. That's great. You made millions, that's great. You made big money, wonderful. Now you got to be first on your side. All the things you need for yourself. And then when you all set, then now you go and reach into, and y'all get some more scriptures on. I got another one if you want it. I got one more if you want it. All right. Because here, let me explain something about us that we don't know. When you know it's the case, get into all kinds of stuff. Become part of the crowd that's easy to influence to do more evil.
Yeah.
You become part of that crowd to do whatever evil thing they bring in, you'll join in that evil. Let me have Haas read one more for me. Haas, read Acts the 17th chapter in the 5th verse. About these men that they came up against the truth and how they were so easily used. Go ahead, somebody was gonna say something.
That's like I got Leviticus 19:9 if you wanted about the for the poor.
Please. Yeah, definitely. You want to go to this one first, or you want to go to that one first?
Whatever you want, sir, Salaki.
Okay, Salaki, I'm gonna read this first, and we go to the law after that. All right. Now, we've been running a while. I don't know if we're gonna be able to keep Meshach in here for another hour to do the whole second half. We told everybody we're gonna do the second half. I hope
I work in. Let's go.
God, the water. Somebody read that.
Acts 17:5.
Yeah, you had 15. We're going to 5 though, Meshach.
Come. Acts 17:5. For the Jews which believe not.
Those that don't believe, you don't believe in the truth. You don't believe that there's a higher power. You believe it in every God that is out there instead of in the Most High in Christ. You believe in everything except what you should be believing in is strengthening you and making you great and powerful. Go ahead.
Move with envy.
Move with envy. They saw the greatness because that's what's going to happen next. As the Lord raised up the nation of Israel, they're going to be moved with envy. Here's why they'll be envious. They'll be envious because they've been in church. Somebody, y'all put those phones on mute for me for a second, because I don't know about y'all, but it's kicking back to me strong. Maybe I need to turn it down a little bit. Right? Just for a second. They're going to be moved with envy. And why? Because in churches teaching about God and Jesus for years, big churches, filling their pockets with funds. And now it's going to start to come out that they never knew the Bible in the first place. As we bring this truth out more and more, it's going to come out that really these cats never knew the Bible, never knew what to do, had no idea what God was talking about. And it's going to start to come out, and they're going to be moved with envy like they was against the brothers in the past during the time of Paul and Peter and them. They're going to be moved with envy for that. They're going to be moved with envy also, because you're going to be raised with power. The wealth going to come to the men of God now. The strength going to come to the men of God now. The people's attention are going to go to the men of God now, which otherwise went to these disgusting preachers in the church. That went to these disgusting imams in the mosque. That went to these black leaders who absolutely did nothing to help the Lord's chosen people. So now they're going to be moved by that. And they're going to be envious by it. Give me some more, huh?
Certain lewd fellows of the baser sorts.
No. Took on to themselves. Go ahead.
Took unto them certain lewd fellows of the baser sort.
Of the baser sort, meaning real sexually nasty pieces of garbage. Like when they need to get something done, they find a sexual deviant. So if you go and you come into all this money, and now all you do is sit up in your mansion and have all kind of sexual lewd behavior, that's what the white man does. He known for that. What's this cat's name? That just died in jail while they was holding him.
Harvey Weinstein.
Epstein.
Weinstein
too.
God damn.
He's another one. Like, and Epstein too. Like, they got all this money, and then they went into what white men go into. Lewd behavior, which does what? Lowers them to nothing. Next thing you know, he's buying girls. He's selling girls. He's getting girls for other entertainers and politicians. He's flying them around the world. Next thing you know, you got sex trafficking from on the highest seats. Evil men who got caught up into the game, like R. Kelly. Like instead of serving the Lord's people, serve themselves.
Right.
Serve their own belly. When the Lord gave you to fill your belly. Like, once again, it's so common sense. If you're a father and you at home and you sit down at the dinner table and your family sit down at the dinner table and they put all the food out and everybody's about to eat and nobody eating, and then your wife fix you a plate. And then you start to eat and you look up and notice nobody's eating. And if nobody's eating, then you turn around and say, why ain't y'all eating? What do you do if your family said, Dad, we're not eating because we love you so much, we're going to make sure that you eat first as much as you want, and then Mom and the rest of us will eat.
Right.
First of all, it's supposed to move you with compassion. Then you're supposed to finish your meal and say, man, please, y'all, out of love, I want to feed y'all. Feed, baby, fix yourself a plate. Fix the kids a plate. Let's eat. Y'all my family. I love you. That's what's supposed to be in a rich man.
Right.
He done got fed. He got the millions.
Right.
Now he's supposed to say, my family, my people. I need to get them fed. Instead, you sit in this mansion and feed yourself more. Because in your mind, because you listen to this beast that's ruled over you, in your mind, you a sucker if you help the rest of your people.
Right.
When in fact, you are closer to Christ and the kingdom of heaven than you would have ever imagined. You closer than you would have ever imagined. But when you're not that way, then you able to be used. That's why they said they found lewd men. Men of lower baser salt. They found wicked men. This don't mean poor men. The Christian church, they tell you this meant poor men. These men were influential, but they were wealthy. Give me some more.
And gather the company.
And gather the company. How were they able to gather a company? They were influential. They were well known, but they was lewd cats. And I pray this don't fit T.I. I pray it come out that it was all a scam. But it sounds like even from his confession, it sounds like there was some sexual deviancy going on a massive level.
Right.
Maybe not trafficking. Maybe not rape or molestation or drugging women. I don't know. But if any of that was involved in it, it made it 10 times worse. Go ahead, Haas.
And set all the city on an uproar.
And did what?
And set all the city on an uproar.
They used their fame to set the city on an uproar. That's why if you're a wealthy man or a successful man or a famous man, it's your responsibility. You ain't got no choice. It's your responsibility to have a moral code. Because if not, then guess what? Wicked niggas will use you to set the city in an uproar against something righteous.
Mm-hmm.
They set the city in an uproar against righteous men. And that's what they'll do to you. You understand? Go, give me some more.
And assaulted the house of Jason.
Go ahead.
And sought to bring them out to the people.
See that? They assaulted Jason's house where they were teaching at, and then assaulted the other men and brothers and sought to bring them out before the city. These were righteous men, helping brothers and sisters, feeding brothers and sisters, raising up brothers and sisters, healing them from their illnesses, fixing their family, preparing them for Christ's kingdom. But some wicked niggas went and got some more low-life famous people and used them to turn around and create an uproar in the city. So that's how you destroy some shit. Go ahead, Con.
That's exactly what they did when they campaigned to have Christ crucified. The Bible said they persuaded the people. So lock it.
Damn right. Give me that law, that one you got in the law. You right. They persuaded the people. That's been an old school tactic against us as a people. And as a result of it, they've kept us out of the hands of good leadership and kept us out of promoting good leadership. I ain't never seen nobody speak on Cicely Tyson's level of morality, level of care for her own, level of preference for her own. Gayle King was talking to her almost in a spirit of disdain for those things that she was laying out, almost in disgust. She was a notch or two from full disgust at her being so pro her own. Go ahead.
Sir. Leviticus chapter 19, verse 9. And when ye reap the harvest of your land, thou shalt not wholly reap, thou shalt not wholly reap the corners of thy field.
That's right.
Neither shalt thou gather the gleanings of thy harvest. Verse 10. And thou shalt not glean thy vineyard, neither shalt thou gather every grape of thy vineyard. Thou shalt leave them for the poor and the stranger. I am the Lord your God.
And let me tell you something, Mark. That is so the will of the Most High. And I don't mean to take some money and go give it to some felonious charity that's going to take that money and pretend like they helping the poor and get you off the hook. You got to take the responsibility, man, to take care of the rest of the Lord's chosen people. Because guess what? In the kingdom of heaven, Christ's going to put them first. And you're going to play around and you ain't going to get the kingdom of heaven. You're going to be a part of what you saw on that Capitol. That's what the hell you about to become a part of. What you saw up on that Capitol, man. Hey, we might have to come back Wednesday to do this other. So y'all want to keep on? We running up on them there on midnight.
Hey, Slocky, dude, I still got the scripture for you too.
Come on with it. Let's finish. I mean, what do you think, Mashak? Your call.
I'm rocking with you all as long as we're rocking.
I mean, it's what you think, y'all? It's after midnight. Cause I ain't getting no cheesesteak or nothing.
No, they got me some tacos.
He's probably sitting up there right now saying they talking brotherhood and all this shit. Right, mad as shit.
I got some tacos, General.
Oh yeah, they took care of you.
God, they took good care of me.
Most I cry. You know what I mean? So
I'm down, General. You know, I can do this all night. I can do it till the sun come up. You know,
it ain't really fair to the brothers and sisters at home that been hanging with us. You know what I mean? We well over the mark. I think we should pull the scripture and call it a night. And brothers and sisters, if y'all join us, damn right. If y'all join us, we're gonna pull this last scripture. But if y'all and let the generals and captains say and officers say whatever comments they want. But what I was just going to pepper it with this. Two things, if I could, real quick. One, if you hang with us, we can come back Wednesday, Akim, and we can do that whole other side with the Capitol and the FBI, because there's a lot going on with that and the finances. We can go into that. Also, I want to tell you this. I hear a lot of good talk about brothers and sisters coming to the Passover, but I need you all out there to do one thing for me. I need you to pay your Passover before you buy your tickets and hotel. Don't go book your hotel before you put that cash into that treasury, man.
Right.
Like we pay. This is the biggest Passover in the earth. And let me tell you something. In the UPK, hell, it will be in the earth in a minute. That was no Freudian slip. That was a prophecy. Okay. And let me just add this. That I heard there was some critics out there, some evil bastards, that had the nerve to say he charging $200 for the Passover. Let me tell you something. By right, the Passover should have been $500. And why do I say that? The Passover should have been $500 because remember, this is not a one-day Passover this year.
Right.
This year, we rented out a 15-acre ranch, and we're having 3 days. This time, you're going to be there for the slaughter of the lambs. You're going to be there for the Passover. And we set up the Feast of Unleavened Bread, unlike we would, damn right, unlike we would do it in the past. In the past, we would just rent a room in the hotel for the Feast of Unleavened Bread. That's what we would do in the past. And then everybody would just pile up into the room, and the room would be packed to the rafters. Everybody halfway sweating, ready to pass out for the Feast of Unleavened Bread. Well, this time the brothers got together and said, man, let's just go on and rent the ranch out for the Feast of Unleavened Bread as well for the second night. And you know, in true Hebrew Israelite style, we went and hooked the joint up, man, for 3 days. Now you tell me, where on earth are you going to do a 3-day event for the amount of money? $200 is nothing. What we're asking. I mean, what we're asking for what we, if you see the bill, they swore the secrets on the bill, but the bill is insane on what it is that we spent on this year's Passover. So it is the right thing is for everybody to support it. So again, before you go booking flights and buying this and doing that, send me that money immediately. I got to go drop a ton of cash on them by first of the month coming up next in the next few days. Send me the cheddar, man. Send me the funds to pull this thing off absolutely magnificently. Send the tithes money in and then go get everything else set up. You understand? But send in the Passover fee immediately. I need the cash. And it's going to be amazing. And so that's it. All right. So I just wanted to say that. Give me that. You say you holding Haas. And then I'm going to let the generals, captains, and officers jump in with whatever they want, man. Come on.
Leviticus 25.
And wait a minute. Let me say this. Let me say this. 3 days and all the children are free.
Right.
3 days and all the children are free. Food, drinks, everything is free. Free everything. 3 days. And anybody walking over that is just a wicked bastard. To frame your mouth to even say some nonsense like that.
Right.
All right. 500 rightfully it is all that's given this weekend, man. Right? Live band and every daggone thing. Like, they went all out this year. Big shout out to y'all and them down this shit, man. Like they, God. So anyway, I'm done with it. Let's get it on, y'all.
Leviticus 25, verse 36. Take thou no usury of him or increase.
Right. Take no increase, man. No usury of him. Go ahead.
But fear thy power, that thy brother may live with thee.
That's right. Fear the Most High, man, that your brother might live with you. Like, that's what should be your fear. You sitting in that big old mansion. You got all the security, the dogs, and everything in there, but the Lord walked through walls. The hell is wrong with you? You should fear the Lord while you're in that mansion. You should leave like fear of the Lord will give you some reins on yourself. Right. You won't do a lustful, lewd act that Satan whispers in your ear because you have money. You'll refrain yourself and say, where should this money go? What should I be doing with my life? What should I be doing with this money besides fulfilling every desire that I have? Right. Now, if you do that, the Lord will have some control over you and you'll make amazingly righteous steps. Go ahead.
Thou shalt not give him thy money upon usury.
Right. You can't charge interest on that cash, man. You got to work towards building brothers straight. What verse you in, Haas?
37, sir.
Go ahead.
Nor lend him thy victuals for increase.
That's right.
Yes, sir.
All right. No, read the next verse too.
So like
verse 38.
Yeah,
I
go
am
ahead.
Yahweh your power, was brought you forth out of the land of Egypt.
That is its significance. You can't leave that verse out. You got that verse goes right on the back of that 37th verse. Why? What is the Lord trying to say? He's trying to say, man, you better take care of your brother. I'm the one that came and got your black ass out of Egypt. I brought you forth out of Egypt. What the hell, you gonna not bring your brother forth out of poverty? You ain't gonna make responsibility helping blacks, Latinos, and Native Indians when I came and got your behind out of the land of Egypt. You would have never, just like we would never get out of America if the Lord didn't wake us up and free us from this empire and bring us up out of here. And you get up out of here and you ain't gonna take care of your own. You wake up and see that you in captivity and you ain't even gonna work on your own people. That's why he put that verse in there. Read that verse again, and I'll be done with it.
Come on. Verse 38. I am Yahweh your power, was brought you forth out of the land of Egypt.
Go ahead.
To give you the land of Canaan and to be your power.
To be your power. Like I'm the one that did that, the Most High is saying. Which if brothers understood this, then they would know their job and responsibility. And then they would get the help they need to be able to get off of drugs. And they would be the wealthy brothers. And listen, brothers that have come from really tough lifestyles and have finally made it to be successful. But now that you made it and became successful, you all messed up in the head. Your head is all screwed up. Because you done been through horrors. You done seen horror. You committed horrors. Now that you see all that, you need to turn around and help. First of all, get yourself healed up so that every lust and evil act doesn't take over you and control your whole goddamn life. Then when you get yourself cleaned up through the power of the Lord with the prophets of the Most High, then you can turn around and be a responsible leader to take care of your own. And you'll say, nah, we ain't doing that. Nah, we are doing this. No, I ain't involving myself in that. No, I will involve myself in this. You can make those right decisions, and then you won't be such a sucker. You won't be such a sucker to these churches, man. A lot of them turn around, drop millions of dollars on these churches, and the churches do nothing for the people. A lot of them turn around and get involved in the sexual deviancies in these churches and do nothing for the Lord's chosen people. So that's the compass that a rich man has and is supposed to have. Y'all want to chime in on it? No, y'all done too. I see we done busted all the way out. We'll come back with the second half another time. Listen, y'all join me Monday night, 9 p.m. right here on this same channel. I bring the heavy hitters back on in. We come on and get it on and do like we love to do it. I want to thank General Hard, General Q, Captain Mashak, Captain Kahan, Captain Katazah, my main man, Officer Marah, up in there holding us down, man. I had a wonderful time. I hope you had a wonderful time also. And we'll see y'all next time live on the UPK, the Waterman Shop.
Damn right, sir. Damn right.
All right. All right.
Yeah, you know what it is. 140 for the rapper, busy man, shit, nigga. They take their head off, nigga.
I read what Eve did to Adam. I just pray my love don't lie to me. Swing the iron like stamps and I can't let no holder lie to me. I don't feel these rappers, all they lies is hypocrisy. Ain't no competition, ain't no rivalry. Niggas think I'm playing, I don't hear one word they saying. This shit light work. Think Muhammad one of us, he might lose his life first. Circle up and stay alert. Another cop just stress the nigga. He a demon, this an exorcism. Watch I bless the nigga. You took that oath in blood, then you know I'm gon' get active with you. Fuck the opposition, I see vision. Let me paint the picture. Rappers claim they spit and I ain't listening. Is in fact the If revenge was a woman, now I stroke that bitch like Jake. So I war, we gon' run the summer. It's gon' be historical. Thought they making plays, made them niggas call the audible. Ask who run this shit, but that question is rhetorical. Bitch, I'm the one, me cookies with the oil. I'ma get them crackers, hell, should've never kidnapped my family. I can't do that. Bet I be the last nigga standing. Do a life sentence for my niggas, pray you understand me. I might put a switch on this Glock and call it young baby. How you real trigger know them dots? You a bird feeder, claiming he a demon. What's a demon to a cold leader? What he saying something, I ain't hear him. This shit light work. It's about who got the gun, it's about who gon' up that pipe first. I turn a bad situation to a game changer. Bring soldiers from the dead, just raised up the chain first. Shots, I'ma look like Aaron Jones when I run it. Never bite the hand that feeds you, you'll never get that hand back. He bitch about 10%, I don't wanna hear none of that. He dropping sword, fuck him, just make sure you get that cover back. Look around, he ain't with us, probably cause he never was. Now my chin like you with the angels for your brothers. Everybody wanna be Richard Porter, God kill him like Alpo. Play if he want, it's laying in the trunk like Lee Malvo. I'm a certified woman's ass nigga, I am not a toy. Hey, out with that hollow sign, yeah, this the real McCoy. Feel like Gullah Jack when I'm in Fayetteville, you feel your boy. Still about my brain, still I think that's all that I do. The way I get that boy lost, they gon' start to call him Elroy. Fuck his game, pop out on them demons like I'm Hellboy.